continue your adventure? Choose a hero,
Hello, hello. Hey, can you guys hear me all right? Let me just go update Twitter real quick to let people know we're live, and then I'll go ahead and get started. All right, let me go ahead and get started. Thanks for joining the stream. Let me go check Twitter real quick to see. I think I did a poll earlier to decide which hero I was going to play tonight. I think it was Muldorf is who won. Let me just check that real quick. Let's see. Yeah, Muldorf, 30.4%, narrowly beating Mischief. So, all right, we're gonna go ahead and play Muldorf. I'm just gonna do a standard run, I think. As I play, I'm gonna try and explain stuff, and you know, hopefully, you know, if you haven't seen the game before, this will be a good way to learn how to play. It'll also be uploaded to YouTube later as well, I think. Okay, so let's get started. If I can find my window. So I'm picking
Muldorf the Morbid.
So Muldorf is a necromancer hero. His deal is that he can summon minions from tombstones. So Muldorf defeats enemies, they leave behind tombstones, and he can spend his health in order to summon minions. And then the minions can attack for him, they can take damage, and things like that. So let's get started.
The journey begins.
See where we're going.
I hope you're ready.
All right, so here is the board in Crummit's Tale. So in Crummit's Tale, let me turn the sound down just a tad, the music. In Crummit's Tale, you have a deck of items and abilities. Those items and abilities are shuffled into the monster deck, which together produce the dungeon deck. You can see up here there are 7 more cards in the dungeon deck. The tiles are laid out in this 3x3 grid. Basically what we need to do is, you know, defeat all the enemies in the deck. You can see a bunch of enemies laid out here. There's still 1 enemy left in the deck. And, so there's still 1 enemy left in the deck. When you defeat an enemy, that's how you earn gold. Gold is how you pick up these items. So, for instance, if I want to pick up this scythe, I need 2 gold, which means I need to defeat 2 enemies. So let's go ahead and start clearing this board and earning some gold.
Hit it!
This is a battle, so when you tap an enemy, you go into battle with them. Later on, you'll see that I can use items and abilities in battle. For now, I don't have any, so I'm just going to go ahead and auto-attack. You can see the yellow diamond here means I'm going to do 2 damage to the peasant, which has 6 health. She's going to do 1 damage back to me. The hero always attacks, well, mostly attacks first. And then her attack is piercing, meaning that if I had block, my block would be ignored. So let's just go ahead. She should be a pretty easy opponent. So let's start earning some gold. Also worth noting, on the left over here, we have the attack pattern, which is where you can decide, or where you can see what attacks the enemy is going to do next. Planning ahead is actually really important in Crummets Tale, and understanding what the enemy's attack pattern is. So as we defeated that peasant, they left behind a tombstone. The tombstone we can use, we can click, and it says pay 3 health to summon a skeleton. So let's go ahead and do that so you can see how that works. We have a skeleton here. Minions are unique to Muldorf for the most part. And basically, when we select them, they take our place in battle. So it's a good way to defeat some of these enemies and not take damage. So I'll select the peasant, and I'm going to go ahead and switch to my minion, so you can see it switch places with me. So now the minion is going to take damage on my behalf.
Nice!
Cool. So now we have 2 gold. Deciding my next move. I think what I would like to do is, I'm going to grab this ability called Life Sip. It deals 2 piercing damage and restores health, which is great because we're pretty low on health. I'm going to go ahead and grab the Life Sip.
What a find!
I'm going to target the Town Guard. So the Town Guard has a unique ability which says, can't equip melee weapons while this enemy is on the board. So she can be a pain to deal with. She also has armor, as indicated by this armored portrait around her. And so, if we fight her in battle, that gives her some extra protection and things like that. Luckily, this Life Sip ability can go right through the armor and will also restore some health. So let's go ahead and do that.
Yes!
Next, I want to summon some more minions, but first I'm going to grab these Necromancy robes. So while I have these in my inventory, they have a passive effect, which allows me to, which reduces the health cost of summoning minions from a tombstone. So I'm going to grab that.
Finders keepers.
So now when I go to summon a minion, instead of costing 3, as long as I have these robes, it'll only cost 2. So I'm going to go ahead and summon another skeleton.
Hit it!
Same deal here. I'm just going to auto-attack this peasant with my minion.
Got him!
And there's another tombstone. I'm going to go ahead and summon another minion.
Will you
Same deal. We're going to defeat this peasant. And then after this, there's just 1 more peasant left, so we just need to find a way to deal with them.
take that?
I think what I'll do is, even though I'll sacrifice my minion here, I'm going to go ahead and attack the peasant. And I'm just going to block her attack. I haven't mentioned it before, but if your block matches or exceeds the attack value of the enemy, you'll parry them, which makes them stunned and they lose their next attack. Muldorf isn't really a hero that makes use of that mechanic. Bruno, the starting warrior hero, relies a lot on parry, but occasionally on Muldorf you'll be able to pull it off as well. And that's the first dungeon. So
Of course, for
when you beat a
celebration.
dungeon, you increase your max deck size. So your starting deck has 10 cards, or I call them tiles, 10 tiles. You get a base reward of 10 gems, and you also get an unused tile bonus. So any items or abilities that you acquired but didn't fully use or were remaining on the board, you get gems for those. So Crummets Tale rewards you for playing efficiently. In a second, we'll see what gems are for. There's a couple different uses. Between each dungeon, you'll also be given an opportunity to choose a tile reward to add to your deck, as well as a perk. The perks behave similarly to relics in Slay the Spire, so basically passive bonuses that change the rules of the game. And then the choose a tile, this just adds an additional tile to your deck, and we'll show what that looks like first.
What's inside?
So there's a couple different options we have here. The first one is an ability called Call of the Depths. This one adds a pretty nice weapon to your hand. Octo's Arm is a very strong weapon that is usually only obtainable with Bruno, which is another hero. But Call of the Depths allows you to get a hold of one as Muldorf. You can see here the health cost is, or the gold cost is 20, which would be pretty ridiculous, but Muldorf has a lot of abilities that do different things based on how much health he has. So, some abilities may be more powerful, or do X if you have less health, or things like that. So this is a pretty interesting one for Muldorf. It's probably one of my favorites. Next, we have the Demonic Dagger. This is it's a pretty basic weapon. It does have piercing, which is nice, so it can get around armored enemies. And then last, we have Wagyu's Hand. So this is it's a pretty strong weapon relative to its cost. 7 damage is quite good. Its disadvantage, though, is each time you use it, it gets a little bit weaker until it runs out of durability. I forgot to mention earlier, but items have these dots here, which indicate the durability, and you can only use an item as many times as it has durability. I'm going to go with Call of the Depths. I think health manipulation on Muldorf is one of my favorite mechanics, and I almost always take this because Octo's Arm is so strong.
Choose wisely.
Couple different perks here. These are pretty good ones overall. Berserker, if you attack with 2 weapons, your total attack is +3. It's pretty strong. Not a top pick in my mind on Muldorf. He's not as weapon heavy as some of the other heroes. Scrapper, base attack is increased by 2 while attacking enemies with armor or block. I like this one a lot on almost all the heroes. Rich, at the start of each dungeon, gain 2 gold. So this is a nice, it doesn't have a lot of late game value, but early on, it's just a good way to get started in a dungeon, and helps negate some bad RNG. And finally, Giant Slayer, base attack increased by 2 versus bosses. This is also a pretty good pick, I think, most of the time, since the bosses have pretty high health pools. I think for this run, I'm going to take Scrapper, just because there's a lot of armored enemies, and having that +2 base attack can be pretty huge.
Stock up.
So here's where we can spend gems in the shop. You're offered 6 different items that you can add to your deck. I won't go through all of them here because there's a lot. I think I'm always on the lookout for good weapons. Starving Sickle is pretty good. This is another example of a item on Muldorf that is a little bit better if you have low health. So Muldorf does really well at low health. Same with Haunting Bell. It deals piercing damage equal to the amount of health that you're missing. I think I'll take Haunting Bell.
A prudent
I think
purchase.
I may also grab the Sickle.
Yes, yes. Arm yourself.
If you click the blue button here with the deck,
A fine
you can
assortment
see the
of
different
dangerous
items
doodads
and abilities
and
that
what's
are
it.
currently in your deck. One thing that's a little bit different about Crummets Tale compared to other deck builders is having a big deck in Crummets Tale is usually advantageous. And a lot of other deck builders, Slay the Spire, Monster Train, etc., you're often rewarded for building a really small and efficient deck. And Crummets Tale, when having a larger deck improves the distribution of items and abilities in the dungeon. So if you remember, I mentioned the dungeon deck is basically a combination of your items, the abilities, and the enemies. So if you have more items and abilities in the deck, that'll work to your advantage. You can also discard items and abilities in the dungeon that you don't want, and you'll get health and gold for those. So basically anything in your deck is a resource, so you're not really penalized for, you know, having too large of a deck. Let's see. So right now, the max deck size I have is 12, so I'm going to go ahead and I need to remove an item before I continue. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of Life Sip.
Good riddance.
And let's see, anything else I want to buy? I do like this Bone Shard Dagger, and I do have 15 gems, so maybe I'll grab a copy of that
Your
as well.
armory grows.
I'll get rid of the Scythe, which is a starting
Won't
item.
be needing that.
Alright, let's check out the second dungeon.
Your journey continues.
Here on the side on the left, you can see the our progress. So basically there's 8 dungeons, and then there's the final dungeon, which is where you fight the Uberlich, which is the final boss. So I'm hoping we get there today. I don't always win, so we'll have to see.
Nice.
Let's see. I'm going to summon a skeleton. All right.
Splatted.
It was a little bit of a rough start there. The cultist enemy, these guys in the robes, are quite strong. A little bit difficult to beat unless you already have some cards, or you know, some gold and some resources. So I didn't really have a lot I could do there. I am at 2 health, which makes the Starving Sickle very cheap. So I'm gonna pick that up while I'm still low health. Now I can beat the cultist in 1 hit.
Vanquish.
I will do the same to the other cultist. And another nice thing about Muldorf, or one sort of difference with the other heroes, is for most heroes, you can discard an item you don't want for gold and health. For Muldorf, you get gold, but not health. But the tombstones that drop, you can either summon a skeleton with those by spending health, or you can discard them for health. So that's how Muldorf can regenerate some health. So I have a bunch of tombstones on the board that I don't need. I'm gonna go ahead and discard. Whoops! I'm gonna discard one of those.
Invigorating, no? Decisive.
And let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and see, beat the skeleton.
Just don't get cocky. To your health.
So no more enemies on the board. There's still some in the deck, so I'm just gonna discard a couple of these tombstones, get them out of the way, and look for the last remaining enemies. I'm gonna go ahead and summon another skeleton. Here's another enemy. We'll beat him with the Starving Sickle.
Too easy.
Let's see. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and grab the Bone Shard Dagger. So this weapon has 3 attack, but it increases by 1 for each minion in my inventory, and I have 2 minions. That'll give me a 5 damage weapon.
Splat it.
I think I'll sacrifice one of the skeletons to avoid some damage. And let's see, just one more enemy left.
2 arms.
And then we're done with that dungeon.
A cause for celebration.
All right, so the next up is the Boneyard. This is the first boss dungeon.
I've seen this before.
So here we have to beat Skeleton King Kalakas. So we better be prepared for that.
What will be revealed?
Let's see. Some items here. Dragon's Gold is a potion that converts an item into gold, like an item you don't want. Necrodude's Cap. When you parry with this item, increases the max health of your minions. This one is pretty fun. The Rattlebone's Cuirass. You can only use this after a minion dies, so pretty good block relative to the cost. A little bit clunky to use in practice. I'm gonna go with the Necrodude's Cap.
Choose wisely.
Let's see. Some different abilities here. Some different perks. Hornet, not great for Muldorf. Poet, probably not great. I think the obvious pick would be Ventriloquist. I think that's one of the stronger abilities. Do I want to do that? I'm just going to pick Hornet. I think Ventriloquist may be a little too good, so I'm just going to pick Hornet. With Muldorf, since he doesn't really have a way to poison, practically this is, 1 extra damage, so that's pretty strong. 1 extra damage if I have a weapon. Maybe not as good as Ventriloquist, but I don't usually play with Ventriloquist, so I'm gonna skip it for now. Mortal Coil. This is a fun weapon, so when you defeat an enemy with this, you summon a skeleton mini and just write to your inventory without paying the cost. That's pretty fun.
Prudent purchase.
You can also spend your gems to re-roll the shot. It costs a little bit more each time you use it. So we have some different items here. Let's see. Cardoso's Chapeau is a pretty fun one. So this one is, it's not very good against a lot of enemies, but certain high health enemies, what this does is if you're able to parry their attack, you swap health values with them. So if you're at really low health, like you're at 1 health, you can swap health with like a 20 HP minion or something like that and get a huge boost. But a lot of other enemies with lower health, it's not as good. I do like Harvest, so that gives you extra attack and adds lifesteal to your attack, which is really strong. And the Shovel, weapons are good in general.
What a collection!
I think I'll grab Harvest. I think I'll grab the Shovel as well. I like having a couple more weapons. I'll get rid of the Scythe.
Won't be needing that.
I'll get rid of the extra life stick.
Onwards.
All right, the Boneyard.
So studious.
All right, so we got a treasure chest right off the bat. I definitely like to see that.
Oh, yes.
Let's go ahead and engage with the skeletons and start earning some more gold. I was eyeing this Mortal Coil here, which will be nice for beating these stronger ancient skeletons. We're a little short on damage.
What a find!
No, I think we'll be okay with... Nope, we're good. I forgot we have the Scrapper perk, which makes us do more damage against enemies with armor.
Hit it!
Okay, we'll beat that guy.
Got him!
We summoned that skeleton right to our deck because we defeated them with Mortal Coil.
Hit
Do
it!
the same thing to this guy. And let's see what we got. I want to grab the Starving Sickle, but I want the value to go down a little bit, or the gold cost to go down a little bit. So I'm going to take a few hits here on
Crush them!
purpose.
Merely a small fry.
And let's see, I can make one more small hit.
Strategize.
Basically, I'm trying to get the cost of that as low as possible. So 1 health is as low as I can go.
No bother.
I'm gonna pick that up.
Your lucky day.
Also, taking damage is good because I want to try and grab the Call of the Depths if I'm able to. I'm going to discard a couple of these tombstones, which restores
relief.
health to me each time I do that.
Will you
We'll
try
go
him?
ahead and take out this guy, the skeleton.
Nice.
And let's see.
To
Grab a
your
couple more
health.
tombstones.
Strategize. Vanquished.
Let's see. I haven't seen Kalakis
sweet
yet.
relief.
He's a pretty beefy guy, so we need to make sure we have enough weapons by the time we get to him. There's Kalakis. There's still a couple more enemies in the deck as well. Let's see. Need to start thinking about how I'm going to deal with this guy. I think I'm going to grab this, the Necrodude's cap.
That will be
I
me.
do have
The dead
the Starving
rise.
Sickle.
The Skeleton King.
He spends his first turn sleeping, so we can use that to our advantage, get a good fit in. Next, I'm going to use the Necrodude's cap, so when I parry, increase the health of my minions by 2. So this gold shield here indicates that I'll be able to parry.
Masterful.
And that should be enough to finish.
Huzzah!
All right,
Got him.
so first boss down. That doesn't end the dungeon right away, though. We still need to clear the rest of the dungeon. Let's see. I'm gonna clear some
To
more
your
space here. Grab another weapon.
What a find! Got him!
Just digging a little bit for the last enemy there. And let's go ahead and take this guy out, and then we'll be finished with our first boss dungeon.
The strength!
All right, first boss dungeon down.
Your quest continues.
Pretty good amount of unused tiles there as well, so we got a lot of gems.
What will be revealed?
So let's see what items we got here. We have blood money, which converts health into gold. It's pretty good. Enfeeble, this reduces enemies' attack, so this is pretty good against really strong high attack enemies. Another weapon. I like blood money. I'm gonna go with that. It can be pretty broken sometimes.
Choose wisely.
I think I'm inclined here to go with Grave Digger. This one is unique to Muldorf. Basically increases our base attack if there are 3 or more tombstones on the board. That's pretty good. It's a pretty easy condition to meet for Muldorf. Depends on the dungeon, but I think that's pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Warmonger's also pretty good, but Grave Digger.
Do peruse my wares.
In the shop, I love Mortal Coil. I think that's excellent.
Arm yourself.
Drain Essence, that's pretty
Yes,
good.
weapons are so...
And then I'm going to try and re-roll the shop once just to see anything else.
Gizmos and gadgets
I'm
aplenty.
going to get rid of some of these robes. I don't need 2 copies of the Necrodude robes. I think that's pretty good. I like where our deck's at. Let's give this next
The
dungeon
road
a try.
awaits.
The Depths of Doom. Alright, so let's see. A couple new enemies here. We have the Druid. So when she's added to the dungeon, she buffs an enemy in the same column with +3 armor. So when we see her, up here in the next tile spot, we want to think about what column she's going to be in, because we'd rather her not buff, certain enemies. We also got the Slime here.
Crush
the
them.
He has a power where he's immune to weapons, so he's kind of a pain to deal with sometimes. So let's grab the gold to start out. Globbers also have a poison attack, which I want to avoid. Poison can be removed by restoring health. So I'm going to pick up the health potion and go ahead and attack the Globber. So here's a poison attack. He's also going to block as well. So that'll reduce the damage I deal next round. Actually, because I have the Scrapper perk, I actually do more damage against blocks. So it actually works to our advantage. In general, if the opponent blocks, it's going to reduce it.
Take that.
So I'm going to go ahead and pick up the shovel. I see a bunch of these cultists on the board. Having the shovel will definitely help us deal with them. Let's see, what else? We have this this druid up here, and so what I'm going to do is I don't want to put her in a column where she's going to buff the enemies. So I'm going to defeat this enemy. She'll drop down into this column, and there'll be no enemies to buff. So that'll be an easy way for us to deal with her. I will take a big hit here, but that's okay.
No bother.
Let's see. So I'm gonna discard this.
Won't be needing that.
I'm gonna go ahead and grab the Mortal Coil.
To arms.
Mortal Coil combined with the Hornet perk, which poisons when we attack, should be enough to take care of this guy.
A mere trifle. To arms.
Let's see. How would I want to go from here? We got a lot of these big HP guys on the board. I'll go ahead and do. I guess I can do this. Yeah, I'll do this. Kind of a waste of Mortal Coil because poison dealt the final blow instead of Mortal Coil. We don't get that skeleton from Mortal Coil, but I think it worked out okay anyway. I'm gonna grab the minion from the tombstone. Let's see, I'm a little bit low on health. What do I want to do? What I really want to do is I want to grab this Haunting Bell because we're so low on health. The Haunting Bell will do a lot of damage.
Away with you!
I think I'm going to grab that, actually. So Haunting Bell deals piercing damage to a target enemy, depending on our missing health. So that's pretty good.
Splat it!
We have bonus attack here. This is that tombstone bonus. 1, 2, 3 tombstones means we get 1 extra attack, putting our base attack at 3.
A mere trifle.
We're going to repeat that again. We're going to hit this druid with the Haunting Bell.
Crush them!
Let's see. I'm going to get rid of blood money. I don't
Won't
think
be needing that.
we actually don't really have any way to regenerate our health very easily, so we're not really getting a lot of value out of that. I'll grab Drain Essence, so this will reduce our enemy's attack and also restore health.
Finders keepers.
And we do need some health, so I'm going to go ahead and use that here.
Invigorating, no?
I'm going to swap my skeleton in to take the hit for me. Then I will finish her off with the Bubba's Shovel, which will add, when you defeat an enemy with this weapon, you shuffle a Royal Tombstone into the deck. The Royal Tombstone is sort of like the regular Tombstone, except you summon an Ancient Skeleton, which is a bit stronger. So I'm going to get rid of a couple of these Tombstones that are cluttering up the map. Let's see. I'm going to summon a skeleton and then grab the Bone Shard Dagger. So again, when we summon or when we acquire this weapon, we want a lot of minions in our inventory.
What a find!
Let's go ahead and attack
Strategize.
the cultist.
The courage of youth.
All right, we're doing pretty good here. Pretty good. There's 4 more enemies to go.
Hit it.
I'm gonna go ahead and finish off the Globber here.
Don't bother.
Another Globber.
Hit it.
As you can see, the Gravedigger perk is coming in pretty handy here. The difference between our base 2 attack and 3 attack with Gravedigger is actually quite a lot. That 3 damage really makes a difference. We'll use the Bone Shard against this guy.
Dispatched with ease.
And then I think it's just a Globber left, so we should clear this with plenty of tiles.
Strategize. Your quest continues.
All right, the next dungeon, Ye Old Meteorfall Tavern. So, a bunch of new enemies here.
Yes.
First up, we have the biker. So he kind of has an enrage mechanic, so that each time he takes damage, his attack increases. We also have the Swashbuckler, who doesn't have any special effects, but he does have a disarm attack, which prevents you from using weapons. We have the Vagabond. This is a race of enemies called Jackals. He has a big blitz attack, which is pretty strong. Blitz means that he'll get to attack first, so these guys can be a little tricky to deal with. And yeah, let's see what we can do.
What's inside?
So, a couple items here. The one I'm gravitating towards, I think, is Memento Mori, so another weapon. The damage of this weapon is increased by the amount of health you're missing. So if we have low health, this weapon is really strong. So I like that a lot. I do like Devour on occasion. So this one increases your max health. I might take that, actually. I don't usually take Devour, but give it a shot.
Choose wisely.
Let's see. Here, two that really stick out to me here. Warmonger, our melee weapons have +1 attack, so we do have quite a few weapons at this point. Intelligent is always good, increasing your max deck size. You know, as I mentioned before in Crummets Tale, having a big deck isn't necessarily worse. So having a larger deck is an advantage, and +3 is quite nice. I think I'll go with Warmonger, +1 attack for our melee weapon.
Can I tempt you? What
Take a look. I already got 2 copies of Mortal Coil, so I probably don't need another one of those. Reaper's Razor is a fun one. When you defeat an enemy with this weapon, increase your max health by 1.
The right
Grab a copy
tool
of
for the
that.
job.
And we have quite a few gems, so let's go ahead and re-roll just to see what we get. Let's see, anything I want to replace? I do want to replace this robe, so we've got to buy something.
One person's job.
I think I will, I'll grab a copy of Puppet Master. So this allows us to destroy an enemy outright and summon an ancient skeleton.
A prudent
That's pretty
purchase.
nice because it's 4 gold, so it's a bit expensive, but it helps us just eliminate one difficult to deal with enemy. So I think that's pretty worth it.
Onwards.
So let's jump in. All right, so whenever I see a dungeon like this, there's a lot of enemies. What I'm looking for is an easy enemy I can attack in order to gain some gold to get started. So in this case, the obvious candidate is
Crush him. Too easy.
All right, we got the peasant down. What do we want to do next? Discard Puppet Master,
Away
grab
with
a
you.
gold. I do want this Mortal Coil. That'll be a nice thing to grab. I will discard the Haunting Bell, I guess. I'm gonna grab the Mortal Coil.
A new toy.
Here we have the Town Guard we need to deal with.
This looks
She has a
interesting.
power where we can't equip melee weapons while she's on the board. So we can't equip our Mortal
Disappointing.
Coil anymore until she's dealt with. So let's go ahead and do that.
Got him.
All right, so we got her down. So next, I want to start using this Mortal Coil and
Crush
generating
them.
some minions with it by defeating enemies. Let's see. No, not quite enough. So let me go ahead and beat the Swashbuckler.
Nice.
And let us grab Harvest, so increases our damage and gives us lifesteal.
That will be
I'm gonna use
needed.
that to take out one of these bikers because they're normally pretty tough.
Inspiring.
Got another minion there from Mortal Coil, which is great. Let's see. I'm gonna use Devour.
What a find.
Devour one of the tombstones to get
Yes,
+4
yes.
health.
Let me explain.
And
Hit it.
let's go ahead and deal with this Town Guard.
You made it look easy.
Let's beat one more enemy. I'm looking at this Bone Shard over here that will be pretty nice. Let's see, we also got this, which is not bad. I'll grab this, the Necrodude's Cap. So when we parry,
What luck.
our minions will get some extra health, which will be nice. We do have a lot of attack with the Grave Digger perk, giving us that +1. So
You made it look
we're able to
easy.
take care of these enemies pretty easily.
Splat it. Well parried. The strength.
right, let's go ahead and let's see.
Sweet relief.
I guess I'll get rid of the Reaper's Razor and I'll grab the or heck, let me summon one more skeleton. I'll get max value with the Bone Shard Dagger.
Fortuitous.
So 7, that's quite good.
To arm!
We'll use that to beat these 3 enemies at the
The
bottom.
skill. Strategize.
Cool, that was a good run there. Got a board full of tombstones. Let's go deal with the pirate.
Too easy.
Gonna get rid of some of these
Invigorating,
extra tombstones here
no?
because we don't need that many. I'm gonna grab the Mortal Coil.
That will be needed.
One off. Oh no, with
Dispatched with ease.
let's see. I will deal with this guy.
Hit
Also
it.
with Mortal Coil. Got a board full of minions, so I'll grab Hardy Bones, which increases the max health of our minions by 3.
Ah,
We have quite a nice army here.
sweet relief. Hit
Alright,
it.
let's go ahead and deal with this
So
Jackal, I guess
studious.
Jackal Vagabond.
That must hurt.
Our minions have a ton of health right now, so they're able to tank this for us pretty much by themselves. This would be even
with ease.
more ridiculous if we had taken the ventriloquist perk that we saw earlier. That would give them all +1 attack, which is pretty crazy.
Aha! Take that.
All right, dungeon down. Next dungeon should be another boss dungeon as well, so that'll be exciting. Ooh, Porre Cardoso. So a couple new enemies here as well that we haven't seen yet in this run.
I've seen this before.
We have the Wasteland Thug. They're the only enemy in the game right now that has the wound effect. So while wounded, you can only equip 1 tile at a time. So that's definitely something you want to get rid of quickly because, you know, often when you attack, you're equipping like a weapon plus armor or 2 weapons or something like that. If you're wounded, you can't do that. So you want to get rid of that as fast as possible.
So studious.
We also have the Scallywag. She's a pretty high health enemy. She's pretty difficult to deal with unless you can deal a lot of damage. But she does drop a pirate lockbox, which is a kind of a fun item. She shuffles that into the dungeon deck once you beat her. So there's kind of an advantage to dealing with a harder enemy.
Yes.
And then lastly,
yes. Let me explain.
Cardoso. So this is the boss of this dungeon. He has kind of an interesting mechanic where when he attacks, he also heals himself. Unless you have the a particular ability in the dungeon called Toxic Blood, which prevents his healing from taking effect. So basically, if you try and beat him without Toxic Blood, you know, he's just going to heal back all the damage you deal. So it makes sense for you to, you know, pick up a copy of Toxic Blood to prevent his healing from taking effect.
Treasure.
Looking at the items available here, Soul Beam, that one can be nice for dealing with enemies in a column. It won't be particularly good in this dungeon because the enemies are so high health. Bone Armor, I'm gonna go with Pickled Monster. So this one restores 2 health, and whenever an enemy dies, you restore durability to this item. So it's kind of like a, it can be like an infinite health potion if you can make space for it in your inventory.
Hurry up now. Choose.
On the perks, Survivors, I think, is one of the top perks in the game, probably. Basically, if you're below 50% health, you'll just keep restoring health. But I do also really like Giant Slayer, so that's going to give us that extra +2 attack whenever we're beating bosses, which can make a big difference in some of the longer boss fights. So I'm going to go ahead and take that.
Prepare for the road
Let's see,
ahead.
looking in the shop, so we got another copy of Harvest.
Gizmos and gadgets
That's
aplenty.
not a bad pickup. I'm going to grab Harvest for now.
My
Let's see what
choice
else
as
we can
well.
get. Bone Delir can be fun, so that summons a skeletal minion. So if you have a strategy which revolves around summoning skeletons, that can be a pretty good one. I'm just going to stick with what I have, I think.
Your
This
journey
dungeon's pretty
continues.
tough, so I hope I don't die in the run early on this one. Let's see, how do I want to start this dungeon off? This is a pretty difficult start. None of these enemies are really easy to deal with at this point. I'm gonna grab blood money.
What a
convert
find.
some of my health into gold to get a better start here. I think I'm gonna grab. Let's see what I want to grab. I'm gonna grab, I think, the starving sickle.
Your lucky
That'll at
day.
least allow us to clear out a couple of these
Will
more
you
difficult
triumph?
enemies, and gain some gold. Let's start with that
Small
and see where it
fry.
goes. That allows us to one-hit
it.
these wasteland thug enemies. Let's see, what next? I'll grab the mortal coil.
That will be needed.
I'm gonna go ahead and discard
To
some
your
of these
health.
tombstones, gain some health. Here's toxic blood. So if I acquire an item in the same tile, so for instance, one of these green hardy bones tiles, if I acquire one of those, I'll automatically get toxic blood. While I have toxic blood, it makes it more difficult for me to heal, but this will be important when I'm facing Cardoso later. I don't want to acquire it too early because it does have that the healing reduction. So I want to try and hold off getting this until later, if I can help it. I think what I'll do is I'll use blood money a couple more times to gain some more gold. What do I do next? I'm going to go ahead and drop this down. I want to get at this skeleton here. He seems pretty easy to deal with.
Strategize. Yes, don't get cocky.
Alright, we'll get rid of that. Next skeleton.
Will you triumph?
Basically, I'm just trying. Oops, oh no.
Unfortunate.
Oh man,
Level
that
up.
was embarrassing. My math was a little bit off there. That is very sad.
This looks
The math
interesting.
was a little bit off. I thought I could take the skeleton. I was playing a little bit too fast and loose, and that's what happens sometimes. That's what happens. Very sad. So we did unlock a new tile, Cardoso Scythe. This is a fun one. It's very strong. Adds lifesteal equal to our attack. But each time we use it, it decreases our max health. So kind of a tricky item to use, but it is very strong. Next level, we'll unlock the
Let me
Haunted Blade,
explain.
which is another weapon from Muldorf. This is the summary screen, just kind of shows you how far you got, the run duration, your score. You kind of see the score breakdown here of how that score is calculated and all the tiles in your deck. That was very sad. It's funny that as much as I've played this game, I still do make mistakes.
Choose your
So let's go ahead and do
champion.
another run. I think I'll do Rose this time. She's the newest
Blessed
hero.
Rose.
So she's kind of an interesting hero because with Rose, I wanted to design a hero that had kind of a duality, like light and shadow, which was part of her theme in Meteorfall Journeys. And so you'll see in game there's ways for her to transform between Rose, which is kind of her holy form that you see here, and Queen of Shadows, which is her shadow form. And they sort of have different perks, and you can swap between them. As Rose, her perk is called Chosen, and it introduces a mechanic called Overheal. And Overheal, basically if you heal more than your max health, it triggers Overheal, and in this case will convert curses, which are negative tiles, into blessings, which are positive tiles. So she can be a little bit tricky to use, but let's
The
give her a shot
journey
as the newest
begins.
hero. Let's see if this can be a little better. That was just bad. I'm still sad about that death.
Huzzah!
All right, we're gonna start off. I like always getting rid of the town guard because she prevents us from using weapons.
The skill.
And let's see. So here, I think I'm going to transform into Queen of Shadows here. So this is one of Rose's abilities called Renounce. It's instant, which means we don't need any inventory space for it. It just takes effect right away. Restores a little bit of health, which is nice. And it'll mutate us into Queen. So mutate is a mechanic which changes your starting perk for another. So Rose starts out with the Chosen perk. And then when she mutates into Queen, which you'll see, she gains the Queen perk. So now when we go into battle, you can see this purple background. Rose has transformed. She looks a little bit different than before. And the Queen perk, what that does is whenever Rose attacks, her first attack deals 3 corruption. And then corruption, when you defeat an enemy with corruption, you gain health equal to the corruption level. And then corrupted enemies also leave behind a curse when they die. So basically it's a pretty powerful ability, or a debuff in the sense that she gains health when she defeats enemies, but they also leave behind perks which she has to find a way to deal with. So a lot of Rose's gameplay is figuring out how to take advantage of these overpowered effects and overpowered cards that leave curses behind. And there's lots of ways for Rose to sort of take advantage of curses and use them to her advantage. So let's go ahead and attack the peasant. You can see here we applied the 3 corruption.
So studious.
And we're at 6 health now, but once we defeat this enemy, we're going to restore 3 health.
Sweet relief.
So you can see she left behind a curse when she died, Curse of Tongues. So this reduces the amount of healing that we're able to do. So this is a bad one for Rose. We can spend health to get rid of it. Ideally, what we'd like to do is find a way to transform it into a blessing or do something with it that's to our advantage. So let me first defeat another one of these enemies.
To your health.
So next I'm going to grab Renounce again. So Renounce is an interesting card because it allows you to swap between her 2 forms. And there's various other items and abilities that also allow you to swap. But in her starting deck, she has 2 copies of Renounce, which allow you to swap. So what Renounce does is, again, restore health, and now she's going to swap back to her starting form. So we swap back. Now our perk is again Chosen, so if we overheal, we'll convert curses on the board into blessings. So if I discard a card, I'm already at full health, so I discard a tile.
Invigorating.
And you can see the 2 curses on the board transform into blessings. So now those, it was a curse, now it's a blessing, and it says whenever you defeat an adjacent enemy, restore 4 hearts, or restore 4 health. So, pretty nice effect. Won't help too much against these weak peasant enemies, but I guess more powerful enemies, it's a nice I think there's 3 or 4 different blessings. So there's things like increased attack, increased gold, so defeating an enemy and getting extra gold if it's an adjacent enemy and things like that. And just one last enemy. I'm gonna go ahead and pick this up.
That will be needed. Yeah. Sweet relief.
First dungeon cleared. No mistakes so far.
Victory!
Or at least not like the Muldorf mistake. That was bad.
Treasure.
So let's see, some new items. A couple of my favorites here, the Bramblewood Crown. So when you block with this item, you have thorns equal to your total block. So that's really nice. If you have some other block items, you can get a ton of thorns, parry attacks, deal a lot of damage. So Bramblewood Crown is very good. Charreur is an interesting weapon as well. So it's kind of over costed at 4 gold for only 2 attack. but it increases by 1 for each different enemy you've corrupted. So the attack on this weapon can get pretty ridiculous. So these two I think are my 2 favorite. Potion of Transmogrification is a pretty good one as well. It can be a little tricky to use. Basically what it allows you to do is if you have items you don't want, you can transform them into a random other item of some kind. So that can be pretty good, but I'm going to go ahead and pick the Bramblewood Crown. It's probably one of my favorite items.
Choose wisely.
Let's see. Perks here for Rose. Radioactive poison enemies when they spawn. It's always pretty good for any hero. It's, 1 extra damage, which can't go wrong. Poet, probably not going to make that much of a difference. Salamander's a fun one. This is a new perk that I added recently. The first time you take fatal damage each dungeon, set your health to 1 and gain regeneration. So this basically is sort of a death shield kind of thing. You can take fatal damage and survive. Regeneration is also a new effect that I added in the Rose update. Restores 2 health whenever a tile is added to the board and is removed when your health is full. So if you play smart and just kind of always keep your health not quite full but almost, you can get a lot of value out of regeneration. So Salamander's pretty good. Beggar can be good. I don't often pick it. Basically, it's a good perk to start out with, so it gives you that extra little attack in the first couple tiles of the dungeon. But usually you're going to have some tiles in your inventory, so it kind of loses value pretty quickly. I think I'll take Radioactive. That +1 damage, it actually turns out to be quite good in a lot of cases.
Now, spend your winnings.
So looking in the shop, some good items here. I really like Kiki's bow. So this is one of the items that Rose has to help you deal with curses. So I think of Rose as sort of a push your luck kind of class. So again, you're taking advantage of all these cards that have these negative curse effects, and you need to find a way to deal with the fallout. And Kiki's bow is one of the ways you can use to deal with it. So you can just point to a curse and convert it into a blessing, which is pretty nice. You also gain Chosen when you acquire it, so it gives you another way to kind of swap between Queen and Rose, if you need a way to do that.
Prudent purchase.
I like Dawnguard a lot too. So Dawnguard has 2 really nice effects. One is, it first introduces a new keyword called Depleted, which means that when this item runs out of durability, it triggers the effect. In this case, you gain Chosen. So again, it's another way to sort of swap between Queen and Rose, and also restores your health to full, which is a pretty nice effect. So, if you're on Death's Door and you exhaust Dawnguard, you can restore your health to full, which is pretty powerful. 3 gold for 3 block is definitely not bad. So I like this item a lot.
I never did trust magic.
Let's see, I need to make some room in my inventory. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of one of these holy hammers, which I
won't be needing that
often. I'm going to grab this chest while I'm at it.
Prudent purchase.
And getting rid of the other hammer as well.
Keep moving.
Alright, so like normal, I'm looking for easy enemies I can defeat in order to start getting a leg up. Let's beat these skeletons first, and then we'll worry about the cultists second.
The skill. Hit it. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and grab Renounce. Basically, Renounce is having Queen is really good against these weak enemies. Basically, because of that 3 corruption, I don't lose any health when defeating these enemies. The skeletons will, after a couple attacks, will do 3 damage to me, and I'll restore 3 health after I beat them. So it's a nice way to deal with some of these weaker enemies without losing any health.
Oh, bother.
Next, we got 2 curses here. I'm gonna go ahead and grab Kiki's bow. So Kiki's bow transforms me back into Rose. I could use Kiki's bow here. I'm actually gonna grab Flash
Your
Heal.
lucky day.
And basically, I'm trying to find a way to trigger Chosen. Basically, overheal, convert 3 curses on the board. So I can trigger that just by
To
healing.
your health.
I got a new blessing here, Blessing of Might, so my attack against adjacent enemies is increased. So that's a pretty good one.
Splat it.
Should allow us to deal with this guy, I think. Yeah, the cultists are kind of nice because they actually self-damage themselves as part of their attack. I'm going to go ahead and grab Dawn Guard here.
Fortuitous.
Soak up some of that damage. 4 is quite a lot.
Dispatched with ease.
And let's repeat that again. And then I'll go ahead and use the last one. I think that's the last enemy in the dungeon.
Nice.
Nice. Alright. On to the boss dungeon.
Your quest continues.
So here next we're going to be going to Bramble's Arena. This is
I've
a
seen
fun
this
dungeon.
before.
There's a special effect here which says, in Bramble's Arena, discarding tiles no longer restores health, but enemies give +1 gold when defeated. So it's pretty common in Bramble's Arena. You'll end up with way too much gold and no way to heal yourself. This is less of an issue for Rose compared to other heroes. Other heroes who don't really have a way to heal themselves, you can sometimes find yourself in trouble. But Rose has quite a few ways, as you might expect, to heal herself, so she doesn't usually have too much of an issue. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and take... I like one armed. Basically, you can only equip 1 item at a time, but items cost 1 gold less. So they can be pretty powerful, can be pretty broken. It can also be really sad when you really need to equip 2 items and you can't, and then you forget about it. I'll take Brewer. Whenever we acquire a potion, we'll gain a 2nd copy, which can be pretty handy.
Treasure time.
I'll grab Flask of Rehydration. Normally this isn't a great item, but with I think with Brewer we'll get 2 copies of this, so that actually is a little bit better. So I'm gonna go ahead and use that at least for now.
Check out the goods.
Let's see. Looking at our options here, we got Kiki's bow. Charreur is a nice weapon, although we don't really have a lot of ways yet to apply curses. I'm gonna take it anyway. It's not great yet.
Yes.
But
Arm
maybe
yourself.
Later. I think I'm gonna go ahead and also grab maybe a copy of Holy Strike, +4 damage and adds life steal.
Prudent purchase.
I'm gonna get rid of one of these unsavory relics.
Won't be needing that.
To use past the first few dungeons.
Onwards.
And let's see if we can do this without making a mistake.
Yes. Let me explain.
All right, let's grab the
Oh,
gold.
yes.
And as usual, we're going to look for some easy enemies we can beat up on. So I'm going to go with these
Splat
peasants.
it. Got him.
There's Bramble.
Can you bear to face Bramble?
So let's see, we got a lot of gold here. I'm gonna go ahead and actually use the unsavory relic.
lucky day.
What I'm thinking here is I want to apply corruption to a couple enemies, and then clean up the curses they create with Kiki's bow. So I'm gonna go ahead and curse those 2. Or corrupt those 2.
Strategize.
Let me turn my light on real quick. All right. All right, so we dealt with the peasant.
Invigorating, though.
And let's do the same
Hit it.
with the... actually, let me Yeah, let me grab Kiki's bow first, just in case.
2 arms.
All right, we're gonna use Kiki's bow to convert these curses into blessings. So we have Blessing of Magic, which will give us an extra copy if we acquire an ability adjacent to this one. So that will be good if we can get the Flash Shield down here. Blessing of Plenty, when we defeat an adjacent enemy, remove this tile from the board and gain an extra gold. That's pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and grab 2 copies of Flash of Rehydration. That's because of the Brewer perk, which gives us an extra copy when we get a potion. Can I beat this
Crush
bear?
them.
I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go grab Sharer.
A new toy.
The bears can be a little bit tough. They can be a little bit tough with their attack. They have 5 attack as their second action, which is quite a lot. I wasn't sure if I had enough damage.
Oh no! Strength.
Cool. So now, let's see.
To your health.
Let's just get rid of these Flash of Rehydration. Let's see. Let's go ahead and... What do I want to do? Let's go ahead and beat the
Strategize.
I usually like saving the boss for last for some reason. I don't even really know why. It's just sort of how I play. So I'm trying to make sure I can clear the rest of the board before I start taking on Bramble down there. Let's see. I'm gonna grab. Well, let's see.
Hit it.
I guess we'll get the peasant first. It always makes me a little bit nervous playing at 1 health like this. So that's how I ended up dying.
Vanquished.
I'm gonna grab the Flash Shield here, and because it's adjacent to Blessing of Magic, I'm gonna get 2 copies.
Sweet
I'm gonna use
relief.
1 immediately just to get my health up a little bit. Let me use the other one too, actually. I think what I'm gonna do to beat Bramble is I'm gonna grab the Bramblewood
That
Crown.
will be needed.
I'm gonna grab the Dawn Guard. So that's gonna give me
2 arms.
6 block. The Bramblewood Crown, whenever I block, I deal damage, or gain thorns equal to my damage, or to my block. So that's going to be actually quite a lot of damage. Will that be enough? I don't know if that's enough. We're going to... We might have to run here.
Deflected.
No, I think I'll be okay, actually. Here he's going to block. Okay.
A parry.
Alright, Bramble down. I was like double
step
checking my math
closer.
there. I wasn't 100% sure.
Hit it.
And he'll hit us once, but that's okay.
That must hurt.
Alright, first boss dungeon down.
Your quest continues.
Alright, so we have these
So
automatons,
studious.
necromancers, these robot guys. They don't have any special power per se, but they do sort of have like a self-destruct after a few turns, so if you can't beat them quickly, they can be a problem. They also have quite a lot of armor, so normally I'm looking for some kind of piercing attack in order to deal with them if I can find it.
Treasure.
Let's see. Ill Omened is a pretty interesting one here. So it adds Corrupt 5 to an enemy and other enemies in the same row. This does pair nicely with our weapon, Charger, which gains more damage the more enemies we've cursed, so that's pretty good. The Wrought Iron Torch is also quite good. 3 gold, 4 damage weapon with 3 durability is pretty solid, and it allows us to, it gives us another way to mutate into Queen, which can be good. I think in this case I'll take Ill Omen, because of Charlotte.
Choose wisely.
Of these perks, I think I really like Judicator. That is a new one that was added with the Rose update. So in each dungeon, after I've taken 15 damage, my base attack is increased by 1 for the remainder of the dungeon. But there's also, let's see, there's also Alchemist here. At the start of the dungeon, shuffle 3 random potions into the deck. That's pretty good, actually, because we have Brewer, which will give us 2 copies. So, yeah, let's take Alchemist, actually.
Anything catch your eye?
Let's see. I think... What do I want to do here? I'm going to grab Cleric's Battle Staff. Overheal. Each time I overheal, I'm going to increase this weapon's damage. That's
Yes,
good.
yes. Arm yourself.
So do I want to grab anything else? I don't really have any good piercing attack. This would be one option. So Corrupting Touch gives your attack pierce. I think I might grab a copy.
Right,
actually.
the bargain.
What I'm worried about is these Necromancers, and I don't have
Gizmos
any way
and gadgets
to
aplenty.
deal with them currently, and so that might actually come in handy. I'm going to go ahead and drop one of these copies of Flash.
Away with you.
And, yeah, let's see.
This is going to be tricky.
All right, let's go ahead and start with the
Will
peasant.
you triumph? You made it look easy.
And
Strategize.
let's see, I'm gonna go ahead and already mutate into Queen. So it restores a little bit of health, and it will allow me to defeat these globbers pretty easily without losing any health because of that corruption.
Sweet relief.
And I'm going to repeat that again.
Two
This
arms.
globber.
You made it look easy.
And let's see, maybe this last globber as
Will
well.
you triumph?
This is actually a pretty nice setup that we have here. Each of these corruptions is going to add to the damage of our Sharur weapon. So if we're able to get that
Invigorating,
later,
though.
that's pretty handy. Or I guess it's right here already, actually. So we're up to 5 damage, which is getting pretty good. We do have a lot of curses, so I'm thinking about trying to deal with those somehow. I do see Kiki's bow up here, which will allow us to convert those. So I'm going to go ahead and pick that up. I'm just going to convert all of these. So I converted all of those into blessings. Let's see, I'm going to grab the Cleric's Battle Staff. It's a pretty nice weapon.
That will be needed.
Not quite enough damage. Let's see what I want to do here. I want to discard. I'll get rid of.
Away with you.
I'm going to. What I want to do is I want to grab Holy Strike. I'm gonna get 1, 2, I think 4 copies of it, which is too many. So I need to find a way to
Splat it.
drop. I want to drop this one down so that I can get this. Yeah, I don't want to get too many copies of it. Let's see.
Hit
I guess
it.
I need to beat a couple of these other enemies first in order to figure out a solution. So I'm going to. This one will be good actually. Hit that guy.
You made it look easy.
And
Two
I'll beat this one as
arms.
well. Oh, this will work well actually. So what I'm gonna do here
Finders
is
keepers.
I picked up the Flask of Rehydration. I'm already at full health.
Ah,
I'm just gonna overheal
Sweet
a bunch
relief.
of times.
hit it.
And yep, that should be enough. So I'm gonna take care of that
Too easy.
guy. Oops, I actually didn't plan that very well. Whatever. I'll get 4 copies or 3 copies. Might be a bug of
Two
Holy Strike.
arms.
I'm gonna let's see.
Your health.
That was pretty well. I'm gonna grab the gold.
Oh ho.
And
Two
we'll attack the Robber
arms.
to clear him out of there.
Too easy.
I'm gonna grab the Bramblewood Crown.
Finders keepers.
These Necromancers have this this double attack. They can be pretty difficult and annoying to deal with. Much easier to deal with when you have Bramblewood Crown, meaning you're parrying the attack, you're dealing damage back with thorns. Pretty easy way to deal with these guys.
Masterful.
Crush them. One of my holy strikes.
To your health.
Got 2 more enemies. Discard that.
Away with you. Huzzah!
And then for this, I'm gonna grab Sharu.
Aha!
There we go. Just enough to beat the Necromancer 2.0. And then we'll finish this guy off as well. And we'll be good to go. I think that was the 4th dungeon.
A cause for
we're
celebration.
a little less than halfway, I think. Back to ye old Meteorfall Tavern. We did see this one in the last run where I died, unfortunately, making a mistake with Muldorf. Let's see. Looking at these, we have the Dark Crown, which can double the number of corruption stacks. Exorcism is a very powerful ability, or it can be. You remove a target blessing and destroy all non-boss enemies in the same row and column, so that can be pretty useful. Devotion shuffles 3 blessings into the deck. I'm gonna take Exorcism. It's a little tricky.
Choose wisely.
Good. And then among these, I'm a big fan of Adventurer. It starts you off with some basic items, short sword, chainmail, and matches. None of which are particularly strong on their own, but it does make things easy to start off. Let's see, looking at these items, I see Bramblewood Crown.
What a collection!
Again, one of my favorites. It pairs nicely with the other Bramblewood Crown, as well as Dawn Guard, so we're going to pick up a second copy.
The power!
I'm going to go ahead and also just take this opportunity
Prudent purchase.
Replace the basic chest in my deck with with a golden chest.
One person's job.
And yeah, let's see if we can do it.
Your journey continues.
Ye old Meteorfall Tavern. All right. So let's see. We start out with these items because of the Adventurer perk, so that's pretty nice. I'm gonna take advantage right away and use the matches on the Town Guard to drop her down. And deal with her. Got some more gold right off the bat, so we're just swimming right now in the 7 gold. I'm gonna grab a copy of the Bramblewood Crown. I'm thinking about taking on this guy. I think we should be good. So Bramblewood Crown gives us thorns equal to our block, so that's 5 thorns. It's quite good. We're gonna go ahead and use this guy.
Oh no!
Yeah, starting off with chests like that definitely makes things easier. It's definitely not required. Like, you can definitely do well without that kind of setup in the beginning, but it does make your life a little bit easier. Let's see what I want to do with these guys. I'm just gonna throw burn on something. I want to grab this battle staff.
A new toy.
That should be enough.
Oh, that'll leave a mark.
And let's repeat that down here.
Oh, that'll leave a mark.
Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the Ill Omen.
Fortuitous.
Hit all these guys. So that'll give us a lot of health when we beat one of these guys. Right now, so we got that 5 health from the corruption. Let's see what I want to do with these other ones. Let's grab the other Bramblewood Crown.
Yes.
Will that help here? Yeah, that'll be good. So we're gonna block. Oh no, he has piercing. I guess that's okay.
Your help.
We still have thorns, so it doesn't matter if he has piercing or not. I want to deal with these curses before they get out of hand. So I'm gonna grab this. I'm gonna get 2 copies because it's
Fortuitous.
So I converted those into blessings. Let's see. Let's grab Dawn Guard.
Fortuitous.
Combine Bramblewood, which gives us thorns with Dawn Guard. and that'll be quite a lot of damage on this fight here, dude.
Hurry! Got him.
And let's see.
Crush them!
I'm gonna tank this enemy. I don't think he's too difficult, so.
Take that!
Alright, look at the board here. Let's
Crush
go
them!
ahead and take care of this enemy with our thorns. So here you see the Bramblewood crown doing a lot of work. We're sort of using it in place of a weapon in some regard. I'm gonna grab Sharver.
Finders keepers.
We've corrupted a few enemies, so it's quite strong now.
Invigorating, no?
Not quite enough for that enemy.
2 arms.
Let's see. We'll defeat the Goblin Knucklehead. When we defeat the Goblin Knucklehead, he does add a copy of a debuff called Stupid to our inventory. It's a passive which increases the cost of acquiring abilities on the board by 1 until we get rid of it. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna grab this copy of Renounce to mutate into.
Hit it!
Basically, I'm looking to corrupt more enemies to increase the damage of Sharver.
Sweet relief.
So, yep, their damage increased to 6. I need just a little bit more to deal with that guy.
Crush them!
I think I'm actually just gonna switch back, convert those 2 curses into blessings. Actually,
hit it!
Yeah, with our sword. Okay, I should have done that before. With our short sword and Sharver, we have enough to beat Let's go ahead and do that.
No bother.
So I don't need these items. I'm just gonna go ahead and discard.
Sweet relief.
I'm trying to hunt for an enemy that we need to deal with. This will be fun, maybe. So we have. We're gonna grab Exorcism.
Your lucky day.
What I want to do is I want to set up. So what Exorcism does is it removes a target blessing to destroy non-boss enemies in the same row and column. So how can I line this up so that I can defeat all the enemies or as many as possible with Exorcism? So I'm going to put the peasant here.
Won't be needing that.
Discard this. I'm gonna discard this.
Invigorating, no?
And go like this.
Easy.
Boom. So satisfying. I love Exorcism. It can be a real pain in order to set it up, but when you do, it's very satisfying. All right, so we're at the second boss. This is not the same dungeon, but the same part, I guess, where I died with Muldorf in my last run by playing sloppy. So hopefully we can do better this time. So we're up against
This
Elmer.
looks interesting.
He has 90 health, which is crazy. It's the highest health of any enemy in the game, but he takes double damage while stunned. And when you defeat his truant allies, he also takes 5 damage, no matter where he is, whether he's in the deck or on the board. He'll take that damage. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the Dark Crown. So when you parry with this item, double the number of corruption stacks. The main reason I want to take this item is because I need ways to stun Elmer in order to do enough damage. And so the Dark Crown is, it's armor, so it's one way to do that.
Choose
In
wisely.
terms of the perk, Ghostly is okay. Vampire is pretty good. I like being able to discard tiles for health, though. Always it messes up my math sometime. I'm gonna take Acolyte. You just get 2 extra tiles, 2 random abilities in the deck, so we don't know what we're gonna get, but it's pretty. It's always good to have more options.
Choose carefully.
So let's see. Witch Hunter's Capitaine. When you acquire this, also acquire a copy of Wrought Iron Torch. So this is a nice kind of weapon armor combo. I'm gonna grab that. I want to have armor against Elmer.
Yes, arm yourself.
What else do I have in my deck that I might want to get rid of? It's a pretty good deck overall. I like where it's going. Corrupting Touch is not my favorite, but it's good against these treant enemies, which have high armor. We'll give it one reroll just to see what we get. Ooh, Holy Fury I do like. So Holy Fury gives us, it fills our empty inventory slots with Smite, which is a card which deals piercing damage and bonus damage if we're at full health. I just like it because it's sort of one card that can fill your inventory and get you out of a jam. So I'm going to get rid of the health file, I think, to make room for that.
Good riddance. Your journey continues.
Let's see how we do against Elmer. All right, so let's see what we got. I'm gonna deal with the Gobloid.
Yes. Splat it.
Okay, so we beat a couple Gobloids there. What do I want to do next? Discard the Unsavory Relic. I should probably replace that in my deck as well. It's not a very good item.
Hit it.
I don't want to deal with these yet. Maybe I will.
Hit it. To your health.
The only problem is I don't have a good way to deal with these curses. That's sort of what I'm a little bit worried about right now. I need to... What I'm looking for is like Kiki Pro or Renounce or something that would let me deal with those. We do have Elmer coming out pretty early, which isn't a big deal, but I'm not sure what we'll deal. We probably won't be able to deal with him for a little while. Let's see. I'm gonna grab the Battle Staff.
What a find! He's no sap. It's
so
Elmer.
Let's see.
Strategize.
I think I'll grab. I'm just gonna get rid of some of these. No, I don't want to do that. I'm gonna discard this to boost.
Sweet relief.
Basically, discard a tile to overheal on my my Cleric's Battle Staff, just to boost that up a little bit.
Splat it.
I guess this will work. Start clearing out some of these.
Hurry!
Some of these trees. We're gonna take a couple hits here, but it's okay. So the trees have a power where once their armor is gone, they die regardless of what their health is at. So he's down. Let's see. We could deal with this other one potentially. I suppose I will.
Hurry!
I don't love it, mainly because I'm a little bit worried. Whenever I start stacking curses like this, I get a little bit worried I'm going to get out of hand, which is but I don't really see a good option right now with the way the board is shaken out. I'm going to grab Dawnguard.
Oh!
Let's see. I'm going to get rid of Daha's Moonshine.
To your health. Hit it!
So I'm going to go ahead and deal with this Gobloid.
Dispatched with
another
ease.
curse. We've got a lot of curses and no way to deal with them. I think I might take a swing at Elmer. I don't know, maybe.
Fortuitous.
I'm really trying to find a way to get out of this situation. I think I'll take a swing at Elmer, actually. And then run. Basically just trying to use up some inventory space, I guess. Oops,
A parry.
So I actually screwed that up a little bit. I should have waited to attack with my weapon until he was stunned. So I kind of wasted a charge of my weapon. I could have done double damage right now.
Run away!
So that was a mistake. I misplayed that. I'm going to discard the Flask of Rehydration.
Invigorating, no? Hit it!
Let's deal with these goblins, man. I have a lot of curses here.
Strategize. To your health.
Definitely possible that I let this get too out of hand. I think. Let's see. Let's clear some of these curses out. I'm gonna get rid of exorcism. That's definitely not gonna help.
Away with you.
At the moment. I'm gonna grab Bramblewood.
A new toy.
So Bramblewood will.
To arms.
Man, 4 poison. That's a lot. I guess I gotta get rid of Charlie, which is very sad.
Sweet relief.
It's really these curse of radiations that are really hurting me right now.
Will you triumph?
Gotta use the what's it called, Bramblewood Crown to gain thorns in order to deal with these.
Well, parry. Strategize. To your health.
This
So studious.
Actually, this would be good. If we can get Holy Fury, that'll get us back into Chosen form, the Rose form.
Crush them. To your health.
Let's see. We're gonna get rid of the Curse of Greed. We'll spend health to get rid of it.
Strategize.
I think I'll use Dawn Guard. Basically, I want to make as much room as possible before grabbing Holy Fury, because it's going to fill our empty inventory slots with Smite. So if we don't have the space, then we're not going to get those extra copies of Smite. So I want to get rid of. I want to make space for it. I'm going to use Dawn Guard, which will deplete it and restore my health to full, and mutate it into Chosen. Ooh, it did not do that. I think I need to run. Oh man, I misplayed again. I should die. I would die here because of the poison, but I'm going to flee actually, so I don't trigger the poison.
Run away!
And then we heal. Okay, so we survived. That was a very bad play on my part. Let's see. I'm just gonna go ahead and deal with this guy. That was, oh no. Did I do it again? Oh, I am not playing very well right now. Let's go ahead and grab that Holy Fury before I make mistakes. Let's see, we'll grab the golden chest. The golden chest. Yeah, these Curse of Radiations are doing some bad stuff to me.
Generic disappointment. Away with you! Splat it!
Okay, so finally we got rid of the trickster. That was ugly. Let's see, what do I want to do here? I want to get rid of this.
Won't be needing that!
I think I need to clear out some of these radiation curses.
Sweet relief.
They're too painful. Okay, there's Kiki's bow, so that's good. I definitely want that. I'm gonna get rid of this Dragon's Gold. Let's see. I need to make room somehow.
Will you triumph?
I'm gonna use up the Bramblewood Crown against this trickster. I guess I didn't really want to do that, but finally I'm gonna grab Kiki's bow. I need to get rid of some of these curses. Let's see, we still got these 2 Curse of Silence, which is preventing us from using Smite. I'm just gonna do this. Okay, so now we can at least use Smite again if we need to. I'm gonna use one of those on Elmer. Another one. I'm gonna grab the Witch Hunter's Papa 10. I'm gonna grab Holy Strike. Oops. So I got an extra copy that I didn't account for because of Blessing of Magic.
To arms!
I'm going to attack Elmer. Let's see. I won't put a stun him at 4, but I can block him. Okay, so he's gonna heal this round. I'm gonna attack. I'm gonna block. I'm also going to block to reduce the damage. I'm also gonna use Holy Strike to gain a little bit of health back.
Your health.
I'm going to parry this attack, and then I'm going to attack for extra damage.
Hurry!
A lot of damage. That's good.
Ouch!
I'm going to parry this attack as well.
Ha! A parry!
I don't know if I have quite enough steam to take him out all the way, so I'm going to
Flee!
retreat, take advantage of the fact that he's parried. I'm going to restore my health.
Fortuitous!
I'm going to grab Smite. Wow, we're almost out of tiles here, so we're a little bit in a tricky spot. Let's see, I'm going to Smite Elmer. Let's see what I want to do here. I probably should have attacked, actually.
Decisive!
So I have Pacifism. I can remove a non-boss enemy from the dungeon. Do that. I think I might be in trouble here.
Hit it!
So I'm gonna grab the Flask of Rehydration to
That will be
healing.
needed.
I'm gonna
For
overheal.
your health.
I'm going to use Pacifism to take that out, that enemy out.
Crush them!
All right, let's see. I don't know if I have enough. I don't know if I have enough here to beat Elmer, but we're gonna give it a shot.
Invigorating, though.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be a little bit short. I'm gonna be a little bit short here. So close. So close. But at least that's not quite as embarrassing as the loss with Muldorf, where I accidentally
I've seen this
what I
before.
did. I accidentally attacked a skeleton, I think, and I died. This one I was just a little bit off. The math was not quite right. I made a couple mistakes. Had a little bit of bad RNG, I think, with the I had the board full of curses. That was a little bit unfortunate. I probably should have taken out some of the curses. I got, a little greedy. I was waiting for something to allow me to convert the curses into something useful, and I ended up with a board full of curses, which was bad. Oh, too bad. We did unlock some new tiles. We got the Spirit Stone. Allows us to basically kind of keep a snapshot of our health and reset back to that snapshot. So if we acquire this at full health, we can set our health back to that value.
Yes, yes. Let me explain.
Enlightened Weapon, which is a kind of like a buff you hold in your inventory. It has a passive effect. Whenever you acquire a weapon, increases its damage by 2, and you shuffle a blessing into the deck. So if you have a weapon-heavy deck, this is a good way to buff that up.
I've seen this before.
Demonic Chest, one of my favorite items. I wish I had it in this game. It allows you to destroy a curse to draft a tile that costs 2 or less. Draft is a mechanic that's similar to like Discover and Hearthstone. So you're presented with 3 random tiles, and you get to pick one to add to your inventory. So it kind of has a double effect. 1, it removes a curse, and 2, it allows you to draft a tile. So really fun tile, one of my favorites. And then next we have the Darkest Cuirass. So I'm 0 for 2 tonight, and that is very sad. Let me do at least one more. Maybe we'll pull out a win finally. We'll see.
Choose your champion.
I think the second place
The rakish
in the
Mischief.
the second place in the Twitter poll earlier was Mischief, I think. So heck, why don't we do a Mischief run? Let's get that started.
Ah, what a legend!
Mischief is a interesting hero. She, compared to other heroes, she's a lot more focused on positioning of enemies.
Watch yourself, hero!
So her starting perk is called Riff Raff. Allows you to gain stealth when attacking solitary enemies. Solitary enemies are enemies that are alone in their row. So if I look at the board right now, There's no solitary enemies in the top row, none in the middle row, but the bottom row, that's a solitary enemy because it doesn't have any neighbors in its row. So against those enemies, we'll get stealth attack, which gives us blitz, as well as extra damage. And if you attack an enemy that isn't in a solitary row, Mischief has one less attack. So, for instance, most heroes would have 2 attack against a skeleton, but Mischief has 1 because this enemy is not solitary. The reason for this is that, it sort of fits her flavor. She's a thief, rogue that strikes from the shadows, and she wants to isolate her enemies. It's very satisfying when you set up the combo and you can just one-hit enemies around the board with that extra stealth bonus. But it does take some effort in order to position enemies correctly.
Strategize!
So let's go ahead and attack the skeleton. Mischief's stealth wears off after the first attack, so she only has 1 attack now. So what I like to do, and what I definitely recommend, is to flee the battle after your first attack, come back with stealth, and then finish the enemy off.
Flee!
So that's what I'm going to do.
2 arms!
And we're going to repeat that again for this other skeleton.
Flee! Hit it!
Alright, so we beat a couple skeletons. I'm going to grab the dagger.
What a
I'm going to grab the health vial. Dagger's nice because it allows us to one-hit KO these skeletons. Stealth actually gives you a little bit extra if you have a weapon equipped, so that's why we're able to, so easily one-hit these skeletons with just the dagger. Grab another dagger.
That will be neat.
And
hit it.
That's pretty much it for this dungeon.
A mere trifle.
Just for good measure, I grabbed an extra leather helm, which I'm going to use which I use to parry the skeleton attack.
Strategize.
That allows me to flee without getting hit again. And yeah, that's the first dungeon. Mischief's other thing, we'll see if we get it. She also has a in her starting deck a stab attack, which well, I'll show you. I can show you stab.
What a collection!
So stab this is a fun one. It's a 0-cost ability and deals just 1 damage. So on its surface, it's a little bit weak, but it is piercing damage, so it ignores armor and block, and it also gives you a second copy. So you acquire stab from the dungeon, you actually get 2 copies. This will come into play with Mischief because, a lot of games, deck builder type games like this with rogue classes, one of the themes is playing a lot of cards. That's sort of like the fantasy of playing a rogue class with these big combo chains. And Mischief is no different. So, there's a lot of stab-centric strategies for Mischief. Poison is also another big one. But we'll see
what will be revealed.
Heist is a fun one. It is hard to use at times, but it's really fun when you pull it off. So if you remember in the top right of the dungeon, you can see the next tile that's going to come up. And so what Heist does is if the next tile is an item or ability, you can just take it without paying its cost. So that can be super good if you're if there's an expensive item up there and you don't want to pay the cost. I think I'm going to go with Slay. Very expensive ability at 5 gold. It does do 3 piercing damage, and if you successfully defeat an enemy, you gain an extra attack. So that's pretty good. I may take Heist. It's tricky. It's tricky to use for sure.
Choose wisely.
Let's see. I'm gonna go with Intelligent. Increase the deck size. That's always I think a no-brainer choice. It's just always good, regardless of the strategy. The other ones, Valiant. I like Valiant a lot. It's a good Overwhelmed. If there's 6 or more energies on the board, it triggers Overwhelmed. It's a perk you hope you don't use. It does help you get out of some situations where you might otherwise lose. So Valiant is an option, but I like Intelligent a lot. Let's go with that.
A moment's respite.
So let's see, what do we want to go with? Hidden Blades. This is a nice ability. It gives us extra copies of Stab, so if we think we might want to go with a Stab-heavy strategy, this is a good pickup.
Quite the bargain.
That also pairs well with the Vagabond Boots. Restore 1 durability whenever you, or restore 1 durability to this item whenever you use an ability. So if we think we're going to be using a lot of abilities, this is a good pickup.
The right tool for the job.
And yeah, I think that's it. I'll grab the Shuriken. It's not my favorite. It has a, let's see, the effect is deal 4 damage to an enemy. Can't target enemies with armor. So that armor part makes it tricky because a lot of enemies do have armor. But we have some extra gold. We have the intelligent perks, so our max deck size is a little bit bigger.
Well
I think
bought.
Shuriken is worth picking up just so we fill up our deck. We're still one
Gizmos
card
and
short
gadgets
of a full deck, but that's
aplenty.
okay. Let's go ahead and check out the dank forest. All right, so right off we got the Snot Wolves. I know with Mischief that with Stealth I'm going to be doing 3 damage to these, so if I can find a way to do 1 damage, such as Stab, I can 1-hit KO. So I would say that's an important skill, I think, also as you play Crummets Tale, is sort of recognizing certain patterns like this. So I know, I know Mischief does 3 damage, base damage out of Stealth. I know these Snot Wolves have this 2 damage blitz attack. You start to recognize these patterns about how to deal with, different patterns of enemies.
Crush them.
Let's see. I'm going to grab the Vagabond Boots.
Oh,
So
yes.
Vagabond Boots are nice because they allow us to parry this attack.
Hurry. Too easy.
And we're going to repeat that.
Flat it. Hurry.
And let's see. I don't want to use it again because I'll run out of durability. So I think I'll grab Knockout.
What
So
luck.
Knockout is one of your starting abilities. Allows you to shuffle the enemy back into the deck. And this counts as using an ability, so it'll help restore our Vagabond Boot. So I'm going to go ahead and put the bear back in the deck. Restore the durability to our boots.
Flat it. Masterful.
Grab Hidden Blades. So shuffle 2 copies of Stab into the deck. Again, we're going to restore some durability to our boots. So you can see here how the boots really pair nicely with a Stab or ability heavy plate. Here I'm going to grab the Leather Helm, which gives us a gold.
Oh, yes.
Grab the Shuriken, which allows us to deal 4 damage to an enemy. And there you go. That was a pretty good clear. We're going to get quite a lot of extra gems for that
Your
one.
quest
Plus 70 is pretty
continues.
good.
What's inside?
So looking at these tiles here, well, first we should pay attention to the dungeon. The Gobloid Capital Wagyu.
This looks
So
interesting.
all the Gobloids in this dungeon have +1 attack, so they are pretty dangerous. They do hit very hard, but we're going to get some extra cards shuffled into the dungeon, specifically something called Tranquilizer, which replaces a target enemy's action with sleep. So we have these like really angry, raging Gobloids, but we also have a Tranquilizer we can use to calm them down a little bit. So looking at these, the real standout here for me is the Shredders. It does piercing damage, and when we acquire it, we get a 2nd copy. It's just so much value for 4 gold that it is one of my favorite items in the game, I think.
Choose wisely.
Looking at the perks, again, one-armed. I think I looked at this one in a previous run. It's quite good, but also risky and can sometimes throw you off. I'm gonna go with Alchemist, I think. It's just easy to understand. You
Do
shuffle some extra
peruse my
potions into the deck.
wares.
Okay, looking at, talking about stab-heavy strategies, I see Combat Knife. So with Combat Knife, when we acquire this, we're going to shuffle 2 extra copies of Stab.
Your
Sounds
armory
great.
grows.
Dragorn Fang. Not a typo. In Meteor Fall, the so-called dragons are called Dragorn. There's only one left. His name is Bartholomew, and he's a boss in this game. Maybe we'll see him. So the Dragorn Fang, while we have stealth, we deal +4 damage. So, that's 10 damage on a weapon if we have stealth, which is pretty nuts. So we're
Quite the bargain.
I'm gonna grab. We have a good amount of gems. So I'm gonna grab a couple more. I'm gonna grab
prudent
Spider Bite
purchase.
and Blackjack.
What a collection!
So Spider Bite adds poison. We don't really have a poison-centric deck, so I may remove this at some point. But I think it's a pretty solid card against enemies that are armored. It deals poison, deals piercing damage, and Blackjack. Stuns a target enemy in battle if they're solitary. So this is going to be pretty useful, especially against some of these hard-hitting gobloids. Let's see, we need to remove some tiles as well. I'm just going to get rid of these leather helms, which is usually the first items I get rid of on Mischief.
Where to? I've seen this before.
All right. So how do I want to deal with this? I'm gonna grab Stab. What I'm thinking is, I need a way to defeat these gobloids.
Crush them.
If I attack from stealth, I'm going to. If I attack from stealth, I'm going to do 3 damage. I'm going to be 1 short, so I want to use the Stab on them. So I'm going to go ahead and discard the Blackjack to drop this gobloid down to the middle row where I can use a stealth attack. Or basically, what I needed to do was separate him from the other gobloid because my starting perk only gives me stealth if the enemy is solitary, meaning they're alone in their row. So defeated the enemy in the top row and do the same in the middle.
Feeling good.
Here I'm going to grab the combat knife. I want to start getting extra copies of Stab in the deck. I see a gobloid is coming down, so I'm going to grab the next copy of Stab and apply that.
Triumph.
Shredders is very good. I definitely want to pick that up. Let's see.
To arms.
I'm going to take a hit here, but that's okay. It's 4 damage, which is a lot, but I'll be able to kill him in 1 hit with combat knife, so we'll go ahead and do that.
You made it look easy.
I'm going to repeat that with the knucklehead here. He has that copy of Stupid. We're just going to pay to remove that. Let's see. I'll grab the copy of Spider Bite.
Your lucky day.
We're going to take care of this knucklehead as well.
Get him!
Again, we'll pay to get rid of Stupid.
Hit.
This guy would normally kill us. We're going to use Stab to drop him down into the stealth hit range. And do that.
Too easy.
I'm going to grab the copy of Shredders. So Shredders, as you recall, this is piercing, which doesn't really matter in this particular dungeon, but we get 2 copies, and it's just a solid weapon.
Splat it! Yes!
Let's see, I need to get some more health here, so I'm going to discard one of these tranquilizers.
To your health.
I'm going to pay to get rid of Stupid. Let's see, I'm going to get rid of Knockout. I don't think I'll be needing that. Get rid of Heist. I don't really have any expensive cards in my deck that are worth using it on. I'm going to grab Hidden Blades.
What a find!
Add those extra copies of Stab. Those might come in handy. Grab the gold. At this point, I'm mainly just sort of digging in the deck to find the enemy. And this is a good position for Mischief to be in, actually, because it allows me to really easily set up those big stealth hits. So it looks like the last enemy in the dungeon is going to be the boss, Wagyu.
Nice!
And he's going to be super easy. We got a really good setup here.
Sweet relief.
Just going to get rid of some
Won't be needing that.
There's Wagyu. I'm just going to go ahead and grab the Dragorn thing.
stinky successor to Taboo.
And we just got,
Wagyu.
a ton of damage here. We've got these double shredders. We've got the Dragorn Fang. We have stealth. We have the extra stealth bonus on Dragorn Fang. That's just a one-hit KO on Wagyu. So that made it look really easy. This dungeon can sometimes be tricky depending on the hero.
Of course,
but,
for celebration.
We got pretty lucky, and our deck is looking pretty good.
Treasure time.
Let's see, looking at the rewards we got the Alchemy Kit, which lets us draft a random potion. So draft is a Discover type mechanic, so Discover like Hearthstone. Utility Belt, one of my favorites. Draft a copy of Poison Vial, Blackjack, or Hidden Blades. All three of those items I think are top tier for Mischief, so this is definitely a good pick. And Shredders, that's also a really good pick, especially for armored enemies. I'm going to... let's see, what kind of perks do we have?
Choose wisely.
Okay, yeah, so this will make it easy. This perk I absolutely love on Mischief. It adds poison to our stab attack. So now stab is much more valuable because it adds that extra poison. I'm gonna grab the Utility Belt, which
Choose
will
carefully.
give us extra copies of stab. I'm gonna grab Combat Knife as well.
The right
It's
tool
gonna add
for the
those
job.
extra copies of stab. Sinister Charm, this is another great item if you have a poison-centric deck, which we kind of do now because of that Toxic perk. So whenever our Sinister Charm lets us poison an enemy and then deals damage equal to their poison level. So if we have a reliable way to deal poison, we can deal a lot of damage like
A
this.
prudent purchase.
I'm gonna get rid of this basic dagger.
Away with you.
What else? I don't think I'm going to use Heist. My deck is just not shaping up to be a Heist kind of deck. I think I will add Alchemy Kit.
Quite the bargain.
Alchemy Kit allows us to draft a random potion. What's fun about that is, one of those potions is the Poison Vial, which is going to pair really nicely with this deck. So I think we're going to end up with kind of a stabby poison deck.
The road awaits.
Honestly, my favorite way to play Mischief. So this is kind of a difficult board for Mischief because there's no solitary enemies currently. But one thing that does help, one thing that we kind of balanced recently was we made it so that if Mischief is overwhelmed, so if there's 6 or more enemies on the board, she doesn't have 1 attack, she has 2 attacks. So it's a little bit difficult to explain if you haven't played the old version, so maybe I don't need to explain it, but basically right now, because there's so many enemies on the board, Mischief gets an additional 1 attack, so she's at 2 attack right now. I'm gonna grab those stabs. I think they're gonna come in handy.
Will you
I'm gonna start by getting rid of the skeleton. He's not too bad since we're overwhelmed and we have 2 attacks.
Just don't get cocky. Hit
Let's
it.
see. I'm gonna hit the Harpy with poison. I'm gonna hit one more. That's not quite. I thought it was gonna be my math was a little bit off. In any case, we'll take out the Harpy.
Small fry.
I'm gonna discard the health vial
Invigorating, no?
and use that gold to grab a combat
A
knife.
new toy.
Basically, get those stabs into the deck early.
2 arms.
Combat knife will 1-hit KO the basic Harpy, so that's good. I don't need this Flask of Rehydration. I'm gonna get rid of that.
Sweet relief.
I will grab the stab, and let's see. I'll grab the. No, I don't want the Vagabond Boots. What I'd really like to do is start clearing out these bottom rows. I don't think I'm going to be able to. Guess I'll get rid of the Vagabond Boots.
To
for
your
now.
health.
I'm gonna grab another. Let me see. Let me get rid of the skeleton first.
Hit it. Got him.
And then follow up with the Harpy.
Crush them.
And let's see, what do we got? So the Harpy has an interesting ability where if she falls into the bottom row, you take 2 damage. So that's a little bit unfortunate. I might otherwise grab this Sinister Charm. Start doing some shenanigans with Poison Vial and Sinister Charm, but I don't really want to take that 2 damage. Or maybe it's okay. I'm just gonna do it. I'll take the 2 damage.
That will be needed.
It also leaves this Harpy Windrunner a little vulnerable.
A
since
new
she's solitary
toy.
now. Let's see.
Strategize.
One thing about Steve that I forgot with the Windrunner is
Unfortunate.
she's considered flying, which is the only enemy that has this power. But it means that you can't use weapons on your first attack. So she's going to be a little bit of a problem for us because Mischief won't be able to just one-hit KO her. In fact, I'm going to see if I can use poison to deal with her.
Crush them. Got him.
And we'll take care of the Harpy. So I'm gonna grab the Shuriken.
Will it be
Pretty
enough?
good against these unarmed Harpies.
Will you triumph? Finders keepers.
Just trying to clear out the board here.
Got him. Strategize. A mere
All right,
trifle.
so the board was, in the beginning it was a
We'll
little
be
bit
needing
tough, a
that.
lot of enemies.
To your
we didn't really have very good options, but now I feel pretty good. There's only a couple enemies left in the deck.
Hit it.
Whoops, I used the stab
Dispatched
guard.
with ease. Good riddance. Hit it. Oh yes.
Yeah, this is too bad.
Something's
So
not
what I'd
right.
like to do is, use the Dragon Fang against her, but because of that flying ability she has, I'm not able to do that. So I don't know if I have quite enough poison to take her out. I think I do before she attacks.
Splat it.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
It didn't really matter. I had other ways to deal with her.
Ouch.
All right, another dungeon cleared.
A triumph.
My goal for this run is to at least get past the second boss because I've had some, my last 2 runs were not great, let's say.
Loot.
I'll grab the Shredders here. I like Spider Bite as well because our deck has a lot of poison in it, but Shredders I think are just all around one of the best weapons.
Choose wisely.
Chill, very strong item. Mischief doesn't like to get hit a lot, although this could help us if we're, hit and run attacks with Mischief are common. So this could help if we, need to take a hit and then flee battle or something like that. So sure, why don't we take this? I don't think I've talked about freeze in this stream, but when an enemy is frozen, they deal 0 damage, and then that freeze is removed after that enemy acts. Or when they attack. So basically it's a way to just reduce damage, reduce the damage you're taking and things like that.
Choose wisely.
I'll take the Pirate's Lockbox, draft a random item. You don't know what you're going to get, but
Quite the bargain.
The value is pretty good. Gonna re-roll. Well, let's grab another copy of Combat Knife.
Yes, yes. Arm
Our third
yourself.
copy now.
Away with you.
Again, I normally wouldn't take so many combat knives, but because we have the toxic perk, it becomes a lot better because now our stab deals poison as well, so that adds a lot of value.
What a collection.
I do like the Viper Sting as well. In fact, I think I might
The
pick up
right
Viper
tool
Sting,
for the job.
and I'll take out one of the basic stabs. No, I'll take out Hide. I don't need Hide. I don't need
Away
Hide
with
very
you. Onwards.
Alright, so this one can be tricky. This is one of the dungeons that can get out of hand. So this one has an enemy that we haven't seen before called the Royal Guard. And the Royal Guard prevents you from attacking enemies in the same row. So if I want to attack the this druid here, I can't because a Royal Guard is in the row. If the Royal Guard moves down, like to this bottom row, then she'll protect the peasant instead, and then I'll be able to attack the druid. So she can be really annoying to deal with because, you know, by herself she's quite strong. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to stab a couple times.
To arms!
And we'll let the poison her off.
Vanquished!
We also have the Town Guard, which is a difficult one for Mischief to deal with. Let's see. Yeah. So one attack is not really gonna do it here. So I think I will grab the Spider's Bite.
Fortuitous.
I'll apply that to the Town Guard, and then I will allow the poison to finish her off. So this is a dangerous combo. So we have this combo where we have a Town Guard, which makes us prevents us from using weapons. We have a Royal Guard, which protects other units. This can be a really dangerous combination, and we need to be careful about how we deal with it. Let's see. I think I'm gonna grab the shredders.
Hit it.
We can't. See, this is where things get dangerous. I wanted to use the shredders against this enemy,
Disappointing.
but I can't because the Town Guard is preventing it. So I need to deal with the Town
Crush
Guard.
them.
Somewhat luckily, we're considered overwhelmed at this point because the board has 6 enemies, which, if you remember on Mischief's starting perk, if we're overwhelmed, we have an additional attack. So we actually have 2 attack, so that will allow us to deal with this Town Guard here. Oh, and there's Chill as well. I forgot about that. So Chill, because she hit us, the Chill perk freezes the enemy after they attack. So she won't deal any damage this turn, which is good.
No bother.
Okay, so now the Town Guard's gone. We can use weapons again. I'm going to use the Shredders, which have piercing, in order to deal with the Royal Guard. Okay, yeah, I have enough to beat the Druid as well. We've got another Town Guard coming. I guess that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and discard the Amanita Essence.
Sweet relief. Hit it.
I'm gonna grab, just for fun, the Blackjack here, which will stun the Town Guard. Here I'm gonna use that tactic I talked about in the beginning of the stream with Mischief, where I flee and come back in order to refresh that stealth bonus. That's really important against these enemies that have about 6 attacks.
Too easy.
We've got a Royal Guard coming down, but that's okay because we have Shredders, which deal with her pretty easily. I got another. Let me grab the Dagger and Fang.
What luck?
Got another Royal Guard. Again, we're gonna use Shredders.
Just don't get cocky.
Town Guard coming down.
What a
Pin Blade.
find.
Shuffle a couple more copies of Stab.
To arms.
Stun with the Blackjack.
Run away.
Gonna run away again to refresh that
Strategize.
health bonus. Let's see.
Away
Discard
with you.
This. Gonna grab a copy of Combat Knife just to, put some more stabs in the deck. Got
Hit it.
another Town Guard.
Run away.
I guess I didn't really need to use Stab all this time.
Hit it.
Let's see. Can't use weapons. I guess I need to deal with that.
Hit it. Flee. Splat it.
Okay, so with the town guards cleared, I think that'll make our life a little easier. I'm just gonna go ahead. This is not really necessary, but I'm gonna go ahead and use a shredder just to clear her out.
Vanquished.
Do the same
Will
with
you
this enemy.
triumph?
Not quite enough. Let's see. I'm gonna grab Viper Sting.
Fortuitous.
I'm just looking for something that I can one-hit KO this
Hit it.
with. Oh, actually, that's more than enough.
Inspiring. Crush them. Take that.
And I think we should be good at this point. We have a lot of leftover.
Impressive.
I think we got 10 tiles still in the deck. We're gonna have to.
Won't be needing
I think,
that.
unfortunately, discard a lot of them just to get down to the.
To your
down to the last
health.
enemy. I think it's all the all these extra stabs we added to the deck that we didn't end up using. Are kind of
Strategize.
All right, easy peasy. So now to the second boss where I'm
quest
0 for 2
continues.
currently.
What will be revealed?
Let's see. Let's see here. We got. Let's see what I want to take here. I think I'm gonna go with the Bloody Dagger. When you attack a damaged enemy, you restore 3 health. This one pairs nicely with stab, so we have a reliable way to damage an enemy and trigger that kind of lifesteal effect. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the Bloody Dagger.
So studious.
This is a difficult dungeon with Ichita. So Ichita is the boss of this dungeon. So a couple of unique things. She has very high attack. She also has a self-damage mechanic. So even though she deals a lot of damage, she also damages herself. So it's a very bursty kind of fight. Like compared to some bosses which last a long time, Ichita tends to go pretty fast. She also summons or adds a card to the dungeon called the Perfect Storm. The Perfect Storm is literally like a rainstorm that appears on the board, and while it's on the board, it zaps you whenever you pick up tiles. So it can be a little bit tricky.
Yes,
One other new enemy
Let me
here is
explain.
the Trash Golem. This is the highest HP non-boss enemy in the game. When you defeat this enemy, because it's so strong, you do gain an additional gold and get some random items shuffled into the deck, so that part is good. But this is an enemy that you need to prepare for because it has so much health, and as well as a poison attack. So it can be tricky to deal with.
Choose wisely.
Looking at these perks, I really like Warmonger. If I look at our
What a
deck, we've got a
collection.
bunch of weapons. Shredders are actually going to benefit twice from Warmonger because when you acquire Shredders, you get a second copy, and both copies are affected by Warmonger. So let's go ahead and do that.
Stock up.
I see Shredders. I like that a lot.
Prudent purchase.
We have enough gems. I'm going to go ahead and re-roll one just to see if anything looks interesting. This is a fun weapon. Earlier I had a copy of Heist in my deck, which allows you to put a copy of a tile into your deck without paying the cost. It pairs really well with this particular item. Unfortunately, I got rid of it, so I don't think it makes sense to take it. But it's definitely a fun one. Dragorn
Gizmos
Fang.
and gadgets aplenty.
I might take the Dragorn
Well
Fang,
bought.
and I'll get rid of the health potion. We're not really taking a lot of hits. Yeah, let's give that a shot.
Where to?
Let's see if I can redeem myself on this dungeon. I'm not sure. This is one of the harder ones.
I've
in my
seen this
opinion.
before.
Let's see. We got the town guard here. I definitely want to get rid of her.
Don't delay. Play right away.
I'm gonna discard knockout.
Won't be needing that.
Actually, that was a mistake now that I think about it. I'm gonna grab Spider Bite.
Finders
So
keepers.
notice that when I picked up a tile, because Perfect Storm is on the board, I took 2 damage, so I'm at 8, and I dealt 2 damage to this guy as well. I'm in a little bit of a pickle because I want to get... So when you get Perfect Storm down to the bottom of the board, it gets shuffled back into the deck. I don't really want it on the board right now. So I want to try and find a way to get it down the board, but it's difficult because the Trash Golem is in the way. So I really didn't plan this out very well. I think I'm just gonna face tank this town guard here to get her off the board. There's that chill again, which is going to come in really handy. This is a really difficult board that we're on. So we got the shredders. That's a good pickup. This Perfect Storm is taking a lot out of us, though. We're using the shredders against these necromancers is gonna work pretty well. So I'm gonna keep doing that.
Crush them.
That cursing attack goes right through their armor.
The chief electromancer of Galotech.
Yeah, I just don't really have a good way to get rid of this. I just had to find I don't have a way to get rid of this Perfect Storm here. It's really a problem.
Hit it.
Gotta be careful here. A Perfect Storm is gonna end up killing me. I'm at 2 health. Let's see. Get rid of the Vagabond.
To your health.
I'm just trying to find a way to deal with this Trash Golem. I think I'm gonna grab... Let me get rid of the Hidden Blade, discard that, get a little bit of extra health. I'm gonna grab these... Ah, man, we got her coming up. The Town Guard. I'm gonna take advantage of the Perfect Storm. Deal damage to these adjacent units. So I'm gonna pick up the Shredders. I'll take out the Town Guard.
Hit it!
I think that'll be enough. Yeah, that's enough. Yeah, enough to allow us to deal with the Trash Golem. Get out of the way. Finally got rid of Perfect Storm, so we can breathe a little bit easier for now. That Perfect Storm gets shuffled back in. Let's go ahead and clear out a few more
Strategize.
Necromancers. I'm gonna grab a combat knife, get those copies of Stab shuffled in so I can start finding those.
Crush them. No bother. Invigorating, no?
Let's see, another Town Guard.
Hit it.
Should have built in here.
Flee. Strategize.
So we got another Trash Golem here. Not quite enough to deal with him outright. I think what I want to do is grab a I was gonna grab this combat knife, but I decided not to because that'll drop down the Trash Golem and he won't be. I won't be able to stealth hit him anymore. I'm gonna grab the Bloody Dagger just to get a little more damage to allow us to deal with the Trash Golem.
Marvelous.
Boost major damage, that's solid. Drops down the Necromancer, which is good.
Got him.
Let's see, I'm gonna grab the Utility Belt. Take care of this Necromancer. Thieves Belt. Let's see, a couple good items here that I like. The Poison Vial, poison an enemy and all other enemies in the same row. That's pretty good. Hidden Blades, I think is what I'm gonna take.
Fortuitous.
I'm gonna add those copies of Stab, which add poison because of our
lucky day.
our toxic perk. This guy right here. Let's see.
Strategize. Too easy.
So now my main strategy for dealing with Ichita is going to be poison. I don't really want to fight her directly.
Yes.
So we're trying to find ways we can stack poison on her. Let's see, discard.
To your health.
So here we have all those stabs we've added to our deck are coming in very handy. so here I want to be a little bit careful because I noticed that we have Perfect Storm coming. If I drop it down here, I won't have any way to get it down to the bottom and shuffle back into the deck, so I need to be smart about where I put it. I think I'm going to put it in the middle. No, I'll put it in the far left.
Away
column.
with you!
We're going to grab this extra copy of...
Finders
We'll take the
keepers.
2 damage, but it's okay. Go ahead and
Sweet
drop
relief.
that down to the bottom, up, and it's right back.
Hit
So
it.
that was a little bit unfortunate, but we'll deal with it.
Take that!
Now what I'd like to do is I'd like to find a couple more enemies. Whatever. I didn't want to replace an item in my inventory if I could prevent it, but I want to start stacking this poison on Ishita. We've got a lot. We've got a lot of poison. I can take a few hits here from the Perfect Storm, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And it should be enough, I think, with the Sinister Charm. So Sinister Charm poisons the enemy and then deals damage equal to the poison level. We're going to deal with Ishita, no problem at all. Yeah, 18. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Serves them right!
So I think we got this. We might be able to redeem ourselves after
Away with you!
some really bad runs earlier with Muldorf
Crush them!
Rose. Just like Mischief
it look
our
easy.
savior here. Let's see. I'm gonna discard a copy of Stab. Just trying to dig
Sweet
here for
relief.
that last enemy. And it is a Town Guard. Okay.
Won't be needing that! Hit it!
I'm just lazy, so I'm gonna go ahead and poison her. It's not the most efficient use of gems. I could have beat her more efficiently and got 5 extra gems, but sometimes I'm lazy and I just use what I have.
What will be revealed?
Let's see, the next dungeon we're looking at, called Tower of Thieves. Pretty standard set of enemies. In terms of rewards, I really like False Alarm. It's a 1-cost ability which allows you to shuffle all the enemies back into the deck. I like to think of this as my get out of jail free card. So if I find myself in a situation I can't get out of, shuffling all the enemies back into the deck might be the way to get me out.
Choose wisely.
And then these perks, none of these are, I guess Scaredy Cat is probably the best for Mischief. So, I've talked a couple times about Mischief's starting ability called Riff Raff. This pattern where you attack with stealth, and then you flee and you come back with stealth and finish them off. Scaredy Cat pairs really well with an attack flee kind of hit and run strategy. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab Scaredy Cat.
Now, spend your winnings.
In the shop, I really like Cull. So Cull destroys a solitary non-boss enemy. A solitary enemy, of course, being one that's alone in its row. So I'm gonna grab a copy of that. It's very nice for hard to deal with enemies.
A fine assortment of dangerous
Other than that, I
doodahs and
kind of like
whatsits.
my deck overall. I guess I could replace Knockout, which I might do.
Won't be needing that.
I'm gonna grab a, I guess I'll grab Lockbox. I just like Lockbox.
Prudent
It's a fun
purchase.
item. Drafts a random item. It can get rid
The
of a jam
road
sometimes.
awaits.
So we only got 3 dungeons left. So one more boss after this dungeon, and then the Uberlich, the final level. So I'm really hoping we can get a win. Get a win this evening. Let's see. This is another difficult board for Mischief. Again, there's no solitary enemies, nowhere for me to get my stealth bonus. But I am almost in the Overwhelm state. Overwhelm triggering when I hit 6 enemies on the board. So I'm going to go ahead and let that happen. So you'll see this 1 change into a 2.
Hit it!
I guess that'll allow me to easily deal with this Gobloid enemy, which I'm going to do right now.
The skill!
Got another gobloid coming down.
Splat it.
Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the
What a
utility belt.
find.
What I want to grab here is the poison vial. So when I see a board like this where I have a lot of enemies on it, I'm thinking about, you know, how am I gonna clear this out? I'm looking for some kind of like AOE or something like that. Isn't great here, but it kind of fits the bill. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab poison vial.
A new toy.
Apply it here. That'll at least allow me to deal with this.
Splat it.
With this harpy. Do I want to use that? Yeah. That way we don't
A
take any
mere
damage.
trifle.
Let's see. I'm gonna get rid of Viper Sting.
To your health.
So I would like to grab Cole. So Cole would allow me to deal with a solitary enemy, like this enemy here.
Splat it.
This enemy is stealth though, this assassin. You can kind of see his, you know, his character sort of fading in and out. Meaning I can't target him with abilities until he loses stealth. So I would like to use Cole and apply it to this guy, but I can't. I'm gonna discard the lockbox. I'm gonna grab the, ooh, that's not good. She's difficult to deal with. Oh, it's okay. I'm gonna grab the combat knife.
Will be needed. Hit it.
I'm gonna use one stab just to get a clean kill there.
Merely a small fry.
And let's see. I'm gonna get rid of the bloody dagger. We got plenty of weapons in this deck, so I'm not too worried about discarding any one of them.
Splat it.
I'm just gonna get a clean kill on this guy. It's a little bit of overkill.
Too easy.
See, I'm gonna grab the copy of Stab. We're gonna start stacking Stab on her. She's gonna be tricky to deal with otherwise, so I think a couple hits of Stab will make her
Strategize.
manageable. There we go.
The strength.
I'm gonna grab the Shredders. Makes it easy to deal with this guy. Ooh, perfect. Just enough damage to deal with the assassin. He has Blitz, which normally means he gets to attack first, but because we have stealth, we're actually going to attack first. So that's actually really good.
Inspiring.
Inspiring, says Crummett. Let's see what I want to do next. Cole has not come in too useful here. What's left in the deck? There's a couple enemies there where Cole would be useful. I'm gonna discard the Vagabond Boots for now. I think I want to keep the copy of Cole just in case I want it.
Hit it.
We'll go ahead and one hit the Knucklehead here.
The skill. Splat it.
We'll do the same with the Harpy. I'm gonna pay the gold or the health cost to get rid of Stupid. I'm gonna grab the Shredders. Grab the gold.
Instant gratification.
Okay, so here's that enemy I was worried about. 14 health is a lot.
Oh,
Perfect target for Cole when she's alone in her room.
Got him.
That's an easy kill. Let's see.
Strategize. Impressive.
I'm gonna deal with that guy, and now that the assassin is solitary, he'll be easy to deal with. So yeah, this is a good example, I think why I really like Mischief. Just being able to, you know, kind of jumping all over the board, just doing these one-hit kills. For me, that's like really the fantasy of like a rogue character is being able to jump around, and, you know, one-hit KO enemies himself. Okay, so now we're in a really good position. You know, there's no enemies to be seen.
A new
So we
toy.
have an opportunity to, you know, kind of
Away
set
with
up
you.
and get ready for the next wave of enemies here. And just given all the weapons we have and the fact that we
Hit
get all
it.
these stealth kills pretty easily, I don't think we're gonna have any problems from here on out.
You made it look easy. Hit it!
Let's see.
To your
Just trying
health.
to dig for those last enemies in there.
Won't be needing that.
Two more. Of course, the enemies had to be on the bottom.
Ah, sweet relief. Hit it! Take that! Magical!
All right, so we are on to the third boss, and then if we complete that, we're at the Necromancer himself, the Uberlich. So next up is the Magma Vent Cavern.
This looks interesting.
So this is a fun boss, I think. Bartholomew, the last Dragorn. So he has an interesting mechanic where at 20, 40, and 20 health, he takes some burn. He takes a stack of burn, 3 burn, and gets shuffled back into the deck. He gets stronger as that happens. So basically, you can imagine you deal a certain amount of damage. Burn is applied to him. He flies back into the deck. He comes back, and now he's dealing more damage. But he's also taking burn damage. So, you know, my favorite way to deal with Bartholomew is just, you know, always deal damage to him to get to that next level, like the 40 level, the 20 level, etc. And let burn do all of the work of dealing damage to him. So it's kind of a unique boss fight. I really like it.
What's inside?
Let's see. None of these really stand out. Counterfeit. I guess I'll take Counterfeit. Counterfeit's a fun ability which allows you to shuffle copies of a item in your deck, or an item on the board into the deck that has and create copies of it that cost 0. It works pretty well with the shredders because you get that extra copy. It works well with the combat knife because you still get those extra copies of stab. So that's a pretty good ability.
Choose wisely.
I'm gonna take Salamander. I think it's a good get out of jail free card, and just in case I screw up the math again, we'll be safe.
Moment's respite.
Let's grab and let's see. Well, we do have Counterfeit. That makes the Royal Rapier an interesting
What
choice.
a collection!
It's a little bit of a deal to get it set up, but sure, it's fun. Why don't we pick
Your
it? I'll pick the
armory
Royal Rapier.
grows.
What else? What else do I have here? I think I'm gonna get rid of a basic stab.
Away with
We have
you.
so many stabs in the deck. I'm gonna add an extra cull to deal
My
with those
choice as
trash
well.
golems. Cull's a really good way to deal with them.
Push on.
And yeah, let's see if we have what it takes to deal with Bartholomew and the Magma Vent Cavern.
So studious.
All right, just looking at the board here, getting my bearings. I'm gonna go ahead right off the bat, grab the gold, and so I'm gonna grab the stab. And this is a pretty rough board, and sort of illustrates, I think, why I like taking False Alarm.
Finders keepers.
Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and use False Alarm, which is gonna shuffle all these enemies back into the deck. Didn't really look much better in this case, unfortunately. Sometimes you get a much better looking board. In this case, it looks similar, so a little bit of bad luck there. But we're gonna do our best.
Crush them.
I'll take a little bit of damage here on this Harpy.
Too easy.
What I really want, I think, are these shredders here. So I need to find a way to do that. I'm gonna grab
Fortuitous.
the Spider Bite. I see coal coming down. I want to use that on the Trash Golem if I can.
Crush them. Strength.
And I think that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna grab this copy of coal.
Aha!
So good on so much value on the Trash Golem when you can get coal. Let's see. I'm gonna grab the shredders.
Crush them.
One hit KO on these ancient skeletons. If I have stealth, which I don't in that case. I'm sort of dealing with the harpies as well. I'm gonna trash a shuriken.
Invigorating, no?
Let's see. I'm gonna trash the lockbox. Grab another shredder. I've got a lot of shredders now.
Crush them. Take that.
Don't really like this setup.
Will you triumph?
I think we're gonna have to take a little bit of damage here, unfortunately.
Nice. To your health.
See, a couple harpies coming down is the next tile, so that should be pretty easy for us to deal with. I don't like these wind runners. They're a little bit of a...
The wisdom. Splatted.
These are other good cold targets, actually. Let's see. Let me just grab the pirate lockbox. Let's grab that to gain a little bit of armor. Helps us tank these harpies a little
Crush
bit.
them.
Grab a
Your
combat
lucky
knife
day.
also.
Invigorating, no? Hit it.
Not quite enough for the trash golem. So let's go ahead and deal with the wind runner first. We're gonna block using our new loot.
The strength.
Let's see, I'm going to discard the blackjack.
To your
I'm gonna grab the Dragorn Fang. I think that should be
Crush
enough.
them.
Yeah, that's enough to help us get the trash
Marvelous.
golem. Let's see.
Hit it.
Let's deal with this wind runner here. We haven't seen Bartholomew yet. I think we're pretty well set up to deal with him, though. I'm not too worried about it. We've got a lot of weapons in this deck. We got a lot of damage. We got the stab. We got the poison. So
Take
I
that.
think overall we're in pretty good shape here. This is a fun one. It's a weapon that has damage equal to our gold. Don't have a use for it right now, though. Let's see. I'm gonna get rid of Viper Sting, I think.
Sweet relief. Will you triumph?
And now that I've cleared out
What
some room in
luck.
my inventory, I can deal with the Windrunner. Let's see. I'm gonna get rid of the Amanita Essence. Okay, we have another one of these trash golems coming up, so I need to find something to deal with that. I'm gonna grab a second
That will
Dragorn
be
Fang. That's a
needed.
lot of damage. 26.
Ouch.
So one hit on the trash golem. Let's see, what else do I want to do here? I'm gonna use
What
counterfeit on the Royal Rapier. That's pretty much why I got the Royal Rapier, so I might as well use it just for fun.
Won't be needing that.
So I'm gonna discard a couple
Sweet
things
relief.
here.
Fortuitous. Hit it.
Another potion I don't want. I really want to see Bartholomew. Oh, here we go. Bartholomew, there he is. I really just want. I have so much gold. I really just want to unload some of it on Bartholomew.
Here he comes
finally
for his
found him.
revenge. It's Bartholomew.
See, I'm gonna add some poison right off the bat. I'm going to grab the shredders. I'm going to discard the
Invigorating,
Sai.
no?
It's kind of like 23 damage. That's a pretty big hit. He's gonna
Inspiring.
take that damage. He's gonna fly away off the map. So we'll see him again soon.
Crush him. Dispatched with ease.
Ooh, we got a copy of the
Really?
Royal Rapier.
Triumph?
So this is a nice item. So it's piercing, and when we defeat an enemy, we also increase our base attack by 1 for the remainder of the dungeon. That's permanent for the rest of this dungeon. So
Oh,
it's gonna be great.
magical.
Now now we permanently have base attack of 2, and even more with stealth, which is fantastic. I'm gonna grab the bow. That actually helps us deal with these windrunners. With our base attack is +1. Now we're at 4. So that's a 1 hit right there. Let's see what else. I'll grab the combat knife.
Keepers. To arms.
Only 2 enemies left at this point. I think one is.
I've seen this before.
No, a ancient skeleton.
Good riddance.
I start trying to pull out Bartholomew a little bit.
Sweet relief.
Do another row of rapier coming up. That's good. Although against, yeah, it won't help us here.
Your lucky day.
So let's get him. So if we get him down at, I think it's 60, 40, and 20, he'll fly away. So let's get him down so that he flies away again.
Ouch!
So you see he has a ton of burn stacked on him at this point. So with burn, he's going to take damage each time he slides down this down the board. So that's going to be 8 damage right there.
Strategize.
Take out the ancient skeleton, and then this guy Bartholomew's back.
Away with you!
Slide down and hit. So yeah, there we go. One more dungeon.
Your quest continues.
I have to redeem myself. I can't go 0 for 3.
Rewards.
Tonight. Looking at these, alchemy kit, like I mentioned before, is really good with the poison vial is usually what I'm looking for on the alchemy kit. Pirate lockbox, always a fun one. I think I'll take the alchemy kit.
Choose wisely.
Perks, Reaper is a pretty new one. I think I added it in the last update. Base attack increased by 1 against enemies that are damaged. That's really good. Berserker, that's pretty good, actually. We have a lot of weapons. I think I'm going to take Berserker, which I normally don't.
Anything catch your eye?
Let's see. Add another weapon. We do have the Warmonger perk, so our melee weapons do +1 damage. That's quite good. So I'm going to go ahead and take that.
Your armory grows.
And anything we want to replace? This is a pretty strong deck overall. I'm going to go ahead and stick with it, I think. Alright, so if we beat this dungeon, then we get to see the credits. Or, not really the credits, but the little end sequence. So hopefully I can show that to you guys.
Interesting.
See, a rough start. I'm gonna go ahead and take out the skeleton.
Got him.
I do have the false alarm here, which I'm tempted to pull. I just don't really have any good way to
strategize.
Deal with these enemies here. I think this will work. Oh, I forgot about. Ooh, my math was not right, but good thing I have chill. So that helped. Let's see. I'm going to discard the alchemy kit.
To your health.
Do I really want that? The shredders. I'm gonna discard counterfeit.
Good riddance.
Grab the shredders. So shredders are gonna be really good in this dungeon because you got a lot of these necromancers, these robots here.
Too easy.
So clear those out. The shredders are really good against them. I got another necromancer coming up. So megatons is another thing that this is kind of unique in this dungeon. So the Uberlich, adds these nukes to the deck, which you can pay health to remove. And you definitely don't want them to hit the bottom because if they do, you take 5 damage. So it's definitely worth, just paying the health cost if you can afford it.
2 hours.
Ooh, there is the Uberlich. We are almost there. Let's see. What can I get rid of? I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of the bloody dagger.
Sweet relief.
Uberlich.
Fiendish powers will this iteration command.
All right, just a little bit longer. What do I want to grab? Grab the combat knives. Get those stabs shuffled in. Got a lot of stabs already. I think
Won't
I'm
be
gonna
needing that.
toss hidden blades. I definitely want this. I'm gonna toss the shuriken.
To your health.
Okay, so there's a copy. There's some stabs. Oh man, there's a lot of enemies here.
2
I have
arms.
16. Okay, just enough damage. To grab the shredders.
2 arms.
More damage, perfect.
Feeling good.
I'm gonna clear out a couple of these megatons. They just keep coming. I think there's like 8 of them in the deck or something like that total.
Sweet
Seems like
relief.
all of them are up front in the deck here, though.
Strategize.
I think I'm going to take out one of these guys, these dangerous Zelnuts.
Marvelous. Hit it. Yes.
Okay, so we've cleared a path. I think we've gotten control of the board for the most part.
Hit it.
Clear the last Zelnut there. Let's see. I definitely need to get rid of this Megaton.
That will be needed.
So get rid of the Zelnut.
Magical.
I'm gonna discard the false alarm now that we
One
have things under
person's job.
control.
Got him. What
Go ahead and heal a
luck.
couple times just to get rid of the Megaton. The main reason I want to get rid of it is sometimes I forget that it's there and then it falls down and I end up dying. So I'd rather save myself the embarrassment and not deal with that.
Won't be needing that. Splat it. Finders keepers. Will you triumph? Yes. 2 arms.
Trying to find efficient ways to clear out the board here. We're doing pretty good. There's only 8 enemies left in the deck at this point, so I think we're doing quite well overall.
Good riddance.
I do want to start getting some poison stacks on the
Invigorating,
Uberlich,
no?
if I can do that. I'm gonna grab another combat knife,
Your
get some
lucky
more
day.
copies of stabs so we can get some more poison.
Splat it.
See, I'm gonna use up this
Sweet relief.
to make room. Got the
That
alchemy
will be
kit.
needed.
I was really hoping for a poison vial, which this is not.
Oh, yes.
Health, sure. I'm gonna replace that. Okay, poison vial.
Your
That's what I
lucky
want.
day.
Start getting some poison stacks in the Uberlich. So that's gonna be our main source of damage. Kind of unfortunate draws there in that the alchemy kit. It happens. I'm gonna get rid of the royal rapier. Probably not gonna be able to afford
Sweet
that.
relief.
Get rid of the boot.
Hit it.
Enough. Yes. The Dragon.
Marvelous. Two
Got another
arms.
crash golem coming out. I think the Dragon Fang should be in now.
Ouch.
Alright, so I got some more stab. We're gonna get those going on the Uberlich.
Strategize.
Doing pretty good, pretty good.
What a
let's see what I can grab out of
find.
this. I like the blackjack. The blackjack's gonna be pretty good against the Uberlich, if it comes down to it.
Mmm.
More poison. Let's see what else I want to do. Start
To
that
your
blackjack. Got another utility belt. So let's see. I think I want more copies of Stab, so I'm gonna draft a copy of Hidden Blade.
What luck.
Grab the shredders.
Hit it.
Use that piercing to get through the Necromancer's armor.
Reminds me of me.
I'm gonna go ahead and use the last charge
Hit
of the shredders just to make some more room in my inventory for these copies of Stab. We have quite a lot of stacks at this point. I'm gonna go ahead and discard
Won't be needing
Slay,
that.
which I don't think I'll need. And the real linchpin here is going to be the Sinister Charm, which is going to add poison and deal damage equal to the poison stack. So that's most of the Uberlich's health. And this is just adding insult to injury at this point.
Impressive.
Oh, finally, one for three. I'll take it. I'll take it.
And that concludes our tale of how our hero
So we
vanquished the
defeated the
Uberlich.
Uberlich. We defeated the Uberlich. Mischief was
Yet
finally the one that allowed us to
something
do it.
Something the Uberlich uttered with his dying breaths.
This is actually a sequence we just recently added to the game. Well, the sequence isn't new, but the voiceover is, and I was really happy with how it turned out.
Fools, you can't defeat me, but there must always be an Uber.
I'm recruiting a team of heroes to recover a few artifacts. Artifacts that I can only hope may break this terrible cycle. So put your feet up, traveler.
Bravo.
We have much to discuss. Seems I chose well.
Pretty good score here as
The
well.
power grows.
And then, of course, when you defeat the Uberlich, you also unlock New Game Plus. It works similarly to the Covenant levels and Monster Train, as well as the Ascension levels in Slay the Spire. So it's sort of a cumulative effect. Summary screen, 51 minutes, pretty good. Pretty solid score overall. Really happy with how this deck turned out. One of my favorite ways to play Mischief is kind of stab heavy stabs and poisons and things like that. Yeah, so pretty good run overall. So we got pretty far with Muldorf, we got pretty far with Rose, but Mischief, I'm really happy that we finally got a win. Got a lot of progress here on our encyclopedia as well. A lot of Mischief tiles we got to see. There's a couple that we didn't. Muldorf, we made some good progress as well. Rose, there's a bunch we still need to find. And abilities. This is another new feature we added recently, this new encyclopedia. Just giving players an easy way to
I've seen this before.
check out the lore and things like that.
A story
You can
for
see
the
all my
ages.
runs that I did recently. So these are the 2 runs I did earlier on the stream, which were a little bit sad.
Do you have what
Daily
it takes?
challenge. This is another fun one. Definitely worth checking out. Cool. I think that's it for this stream. Definitely tired. Been streaming for about 3 hours, and I'm not used to streaming. I don't know how the professional streamers do it. So definitely gonna get a break, get some sleep. It's about 10 o'clock here in California. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. I've been recording the stream. I'm gonna see if I can get that up on YouTube or something for the folks that missed it. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Have a good night.